The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Bet at DraftKings, Week 13. Picks against the spread, free money teasers, and the whole shebang. Geoff Fienberg is in studio with me. Geoff, did you know the people out there should subscribe to Mayo Media Network if they have not done that yet?
They should.
They definitely should, as they should. Smash the like button for the episode and help us time code for the best of the year, which I have to start doing at some point. But it's helpful with all these time codes when you time code the parts of the show that you think should make the best of the year, that I can just kind of scroll those and we're good to go.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of embarrassing moments rehashed.
Might have to do, I'm trying, I don't have that much time because we're still doing new shows even throughout the holiday season. I might have to hire someone to go and make the best of Cust and the best of Fienberg. The best of the Chargers and the best of the Jets. A year recap.
Mine, whatever. Not him. We're pretty bad, though.
Not great. Paul is behind the camera. The coin is in studio. The coin always tends to make it in the studio. No, working remotely for him. He said, lockdown, schmockdown. I'm coming into the studio. Unlike on the line right now, Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
That is not my name.
Couldn't even make it into studio.
I
How dare you.
apologize for all my shortcomings.
People often ask me why we don't use the video of you and we just use the phone board of you. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, I prefer you by
I
the
see
phone.
that people ask me that too, and I say, listen, do you think I produce this show? I am asked to jump, and people ask me to jump, and I simply say how high.
I think it works better with the phone report. That's all I'm saying.
I'm fine with it. Like that's the way it's always been. You and I have been doing podcasts for over 10 years, and I've never been on video once, and I've been in studio like you could probably count on one hand. So it just works.
You were on video for the unreleased game show that we did.
Yes. That's like the Star Wars holiday special that was like, what, hidden from view?
I just never got around to editing it because I got so busy. I still have it on my hard drive. Maybe I'll try to cut that together. I just don't want to have to do... there was so much graphical work involved with it that I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, you have a staff of people now. Put them to work.
Yeah, but they have things that they have to do as well. Oh, by the way, if you enjoy MTV's The Challenge, you'll enjoy the Pat Mayo Experience Fantasy Challenge League. You can hit up the video on Mayo Media Network and go play in that completely free. Plus, we have a rewatch of Tim, the one season of the challenge you've watched, The Duel.
Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest season ever because that's the only point of reference I have to refer with it.
It was the fans' vote.
fine.
It was the fans' vote as the number one season of all time.
Well, it's like I've long said, the only season of Dexter I watched was the one with John Lithgow, and it was the best. And the only season I ever watched of The Challenge happened to be the best. So I just have a tendency to pick the right season of a show to watch and watch no others. Because I have a skill for that.
Listeners League link in the description of this video. Go play in that. And you can find the cheat sheet up on ftnbets.com anytime after Wednesday afternoon. I saw you scrolling on your phone there. What are you doing?
I want to see if my question was answered in a live chat. That's all.
Was it
Is it about cards?
Yeah, was it a live stream of cards where you're just playing the lottery for Herberts now?
Nope, but that was a great little score, and maybe we'll get to it in Cuss Corner, but I've called
we'll get to it.
I've called
we'll get to it.
The show is 3 hours long.
I've called around town. I'm trying to secure myself. I think I might buy a couple boxes of these prisms of that come out this week. It's a big purchase though. I don't know. I really got to think about it.
Do you need me to go in on it with you? I can write it off through Mayo Media Network if we do something with it on the show. Yes, Paul.
Are they Herbert prisms, or are you getting other prisms?
No, it would be just a box, and I would think, yeah, maybe we sell places. I don't know. Maybe we could do something. But I even inquired about potentially buying 2 boxes. But you might, like, when I tell you what these are going for retail, you might change your mind. It's a real serious decision I have to make.
Look, there's a couple of things. It's not that I'm anti card collecting and selling them. I just have no interest in it. There's a lot of things that are profitable that I just have no interest in.
No, I'm not looking to sell. What am I trying to say? I don't really want. See, I'm in an awkward spot because I want to purchase these boxes, but I want people to maybe buy in on it for things they might be interested in.
How much are these boxes?
But
Just
hold
give me a
on.
price.
But
How much are they?
But
Are they thousands of dollars?
yeah, it might be about $1,500 before tax.
I got that. I just talked to Tim.
No, I know.
too.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
got
just
that
a
in
lot
my
of money.
couch cushions
That's
just a moment.
That's Canadian funds, but it's weird. It's like a floating market price, even on
Really?
retail, and the stores won't even tell you. I don't know. It almost makes you wonder. They'd be like 2,000 if Burrow had two knees right now.
Paul?
Geoff is saying that he's in a tough spot because he wants people to buy in because he doesn't want to spend that much, but he doesn't want to sell any of the Herbert cards. So
See, no,
the
no,
people who
I'm
buy in
acknowledging-
with him, how are they supposed to get their return?
Well, it wouldn't cost the same. Like my share would be the most. Yes, Paul is sort of keying in on what I was trying to say, but you wanted the price. I wasn't avoiding that point, Paul. Pat just cut me off. My point being in that I like
All the Herberts are yours. Any other card for everyone else.
yes, and the Herberts are clearly at the moment the most valuable. But now the Herbert share would be worth less than say if you wanted the Dolphin share or
You say
the
the Dalton share?
Dolphins
I
share.
want my Andy Dalton Prisms, Geoff.
Or the Bengals share, or the Vikings share, or the Steelers share, or the Bucks share. So it's like a weighted thing, but I don't want to have to like do some deep. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm going to try to buy a PlayStation this week. There's a lot going on,
Jeez,
Pat.
you got Tim Too Rich on the line. You got Geoff Too Rich sitting across from me. Poor Pat Mayo over here with my fancy taste I can't afford.
Yeah, man.
No good for me.
Yeah. Champagne taste and a beer budget, right?
Exactly. That's me.
Yeah.
You know, I like the finer things. I just can't afford it.
There's nothing you can't afford, pal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Pat Too Rich. Just out here living in a shoebox.
People don't know this, but behind that wall is just gold coins. I've seen it myself. It's just loaded with gold coins and those ingots of gold, those bars of gold, stacked all the way
And
to the ceiling.
DraftKings crowns.
Well, it's tough because like this
Yeah.
wall you could normally push over, but there's gold bars behind it, so it doesn't go
It's
anywhere.
even reinforced with gold.
That's what I
that
used
is-
to fortify the set.
Yeah.
So I had two ideas for try to do something nice. So here are things that we can do. One, I had the idea. I like the idea of like doing the live auction lotto for the cards. I find that very hilarious.
well, I think we
and
would have
sad
to
at the same
determine
time.
that beforehand.
Like here's
It would
the
be a
card.
good crescendo to the whole
No,
card
like
corner
the
arc
people
this
that
year.
are in have to be in before we're like live.
Okay, we could
Like
do,
it's a settled like in, and now we're just filming it, and it's weird. These things are addictively entertaining. So I've heard.
if you are a card provider or seller, contact me. Maybe we can work something out where we auction off your cards or something like that.
It's like an evergreen. Never mind.
The other thing I was thinking about was, we do a lot for people, but at the same time, we do nothing for people. So maybe we do some sort of live auction where people put up items that they have that they're willing to sell, and we'll auction them off and give all the money to charity. We'll do a live auction on the show. People can bid in real time. I'm sure we can figure that
I
out.
guess, but what are people selling?
I don't know. Potentially cards. Maybe they got, I don't know, wares they don't want anymore.
So this turns into like a
I've got
swap
some memorabilia we could sell.
Yeah, you can buy Tim's Jets hat from him.
I've got these jars of planters, which I would start the bidding at like $50.
People
What
might buy-
what about your Batman Returns cups?
That is unsellable.
Sam Darnold jersey?
Yeah, Sam Darnold jersey.
No, well, maybe.
I don't know. That's
I'm
yeah.
just thinking I'd like to give back, and like we said, Pat too poor. I don't have the money to go give away, so we can do the auction off. We can use our show as the platform for this. Or I was gonna buy the Justin Herbert card. Spoiler alert. I was gonna buy the Justin Herbert card you wanted
and
and
then just
light
burn
it
it,
on
right?
fire
Yeah,
on the
you
show.
told me about this.
It's like that BoJack Horseman where he decides to set the money on fire rather than say that Daniel Radcliffe's name is Daniel Radcliffe.
I'll say I don't think I would be as like mad as you think. I'd be like, that was really weird, but I don't really have a sentimental attachment.
But like,
to
what if
it.
it had like the game patch and it wasn't just green, but it was green and yellow?
Those are nice patches, and
Or
I
the Rose Bowl patch. What if he burned a Rose Bowl patch?
that would be silly. That would be silly.
It would be like when the professor set that donut on fire for Homer to see how it's burnt.
Listen, I'm still every Chargers rookie patch auto or rookie patch Herbert is fraudulent. It's the old jersey that he's never been photographed in. And I don't know, maybe in this late release high-end Prism, they actually will have the real jerseys for those. But people send me or show me these.
I really hope so.
These Charger Herbert jersey cards. They're all fraudulent. It's a jersey that he would have never even taken a picture in.
Okay,
so I want no part of that.
Maybe on draft day.
No, we changed our jersey by draft day.
Let's recap last week. I went 10-5 because there's still a game lingering out there that hinges Tim's Thanksgiving parlay. By the way,
I'm taking a W.
You're not taking a W for it. If you made the parlay, then it's actually
Paul
on.
and Jeff said I can have the W.
You don't get the W. If you made that
it's
parlay,
a majority vote.
It's not a majority vote.
What I did say was I think there are some books that have canceled the bet. Pat's, you don't actually make the bet, so Pat's the bookmaker here, and he says this bet is live. You don't
it's
make
over anyway.
If you made the bet at the time, it's still out there. If you made
all I
that
need is the
parlay when
Steelers to
he
win.
made it, yes, Paul.
I took Steelers -4.5 at a book when
Lamar.
right before, like when Rappaport reported that like Lamar was going to be out, just seconds after that came out.
Yeah.
And that is still lingering. They are offering
So your bet's
considerable
live.
amount of money, so it's still open.
Okay,
so
well, it's going to win.
I'm sorry,
we know it's
Tim,
going
I
to win.
changed
so.
my opinion. You got to ride this one out.
It's live.
Well, that's fine. The Steelers are going to win. So either way, I that's W. Again on Thanksgiving, I give the people a W.
Already
Again.
victory lapping something that hasn't happened yet. Tim, what happened the last time you had the last leg of a parlay that got pushed to a really weird night during NFL season?
Can't believe the Eagles lost that game.
To Joe Webb
was when
after the Metrodome collapsed.
Yeah, I just got the pro line in. I don't know. I want to say an hour or two before the snow went through the roof. It was crazy.
So, I mean, it's a weird time. Maybe RG3's got what it takes. We'll see. But I was 10-5 last week. Geoff was 8-7. Tim was 8-7 in the coin. 6-9. I'm now 13 games above. Geoff is 5 below. Tim is on your heels, though. Actually, I'm 14 games above. 15 games above now that I have to rejig this because you said that the number we had, Seattle actually covered that number.
Yeah, they
The
did.
5.5.
Yeah, they did.
You better
5.5.
believe they did.
So you're actually, that's 82, that's 85. You're 3 games up on Tim. He's inching back towards you. The coin is almost out of it.
But how many games under 500 am I?
3. 88 and 80. Yeah. The way I had it, you were 5. But now
I'm
that we have
making
the
a
extra-
move. That's all listen, I got to get myself back to level. And then I'll worry about being caught. But as long as I'm under 500, I don't care what Tim is.
Tim, the only one to hit a super lock last week. You know who wasn't good? The Raiders. Ooh. Bad news for
Yeah.
Pat.
All of my super lock options would have gone down the shitter.
Yeah, you lost with the Vikings 8-4. I lost with the Raiders 4-7. Tim won with the Packers 3-9. You've almost caught me in super locks after I've lost 6 in a row. Not great.
Seems to me it's clear now there are a couple of teams I should just be betting against every week and just super lock against one of those two teams, either against the Eagles or against the Bears. Seems like the way to go.
You're 2-10 on the free money parlays and teasers for the year, although you do have one pending. You lost the other one because the Rams lost that game, making you 8-77 for the season. Let's jump in because we got some Tim hot fire to start off. The Raiders at the Jets. Ooh. The Jets, 7.5-point dogs at home. 47 is the over-under. Tim, the bomb squad was back with a healthy Sam Darnold. What happened?
Absolutely nothing. We scored as many points as a team with a 7th-string quarterback at home against a team in Miami that looked very out of sorts and played poorly. It was a disgrace. And you've got Gase out there. Just infuriating me, saying, "Well, I can't describe how the play calls are going. I wouldn't want our team to be at a competitive disadvantage. You haven't won a game. What disadvantage? You could flash the play before every single play to the camera, and you couldn't end up worse. You couldn't win fewer than no games. That's what you're winning. Like, is he just trolling me now? Is that the play? Like, it's just so." Annoying. It's like, you must make a friend of horror. Isn't that what Colonel Kurtz says? Like, that's what it feels like to watch a Jets game. You feel like Colonel Kurtz.
Hold on. Are you getting excited, though? I got to ask, for 0-16? Because that's impressive.
I don't want it.
You want it.
But how is it not going to happen?
Admit that you want it.
No, I don't want. I do not want.
You know that bottle of champagne that you've been saving for when one of
Stop
your
it.
teams wins something? You
Stop
should
it.
crack it. At
Dude, the
0-16.
Dolphins
Stop it.
avoided it, right? They almost
Yes.
The Orlovsky Lions.
like Greg Camarillo or something scored a big
Overtime touchdown
touchdown
against Baltimore, I think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
and then 3 or 4 years
Cameron, the
ago-
Cam Cameron Dolphins.
They had the
3 or
Cameron
4 years
Cameron
ago, the
Dolphins
year
from
that the
Cleo
Browns
Lemon.
got the year the Browns went 0-16.
Oh
the year
yeah,
they
the
got
Browns
Mayfield.
did it.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
recent.
But
Obviously,
that team
the
was
Lions.
scrappy.
You're right. I agree with Tim. As even a little boy, I was so happy when the Chargers were able to avoid 0-16 Devil 1
Yeah, I
and
don't want
15
that.
year. You don't want
You
it.
can't wash
you
that
don't
off
want
the
that
ledger, right?
stink. Yeah, that doesn't go anywhere. I mean, when we were growing up, it was just this lone Buccaneers
However-
creamsicle team. Now, as we've just mentioned, there are a Lions and a Browns team.
But however, I
that
do
is
dream-
stank. That is that is organizational stank. You want no part
I
of.
dream of a couple years from now, though, when NBC or CBS does their Super Bowl pregame show, and they're like, "This team was 0-16 and done for," and like the Phoenix, they've risen from the ashes from 0-16 to 16-0, something like that. I like this. At least that becomes a possible talking point line, right? If they go 0-16, I mean, but I don't want that.
You'd rather just be
I want-
1-15, and the talking point is essentially the goddamn same thing, except you close
Correct.
one game out.
Correct,
Like,
but one is a heck of a lot
Yes,
more than
I agree. Tim, I'm gonna get into it in a couple
somehow.
hours.
My coach is worse than yours. and
I'm
your
gonna
coach is
I'm
awful.
gonna get into it in a couple hours time, because don't you worry, I'll be doing my impression of what I watched post game, and I've never missed one in my whole life since I've been old enough to figure it out. Win, lose, draw. I will watch the post game, and then I'll watch again the Monday scrum, because that's my job. No one pays me to do it.
Yeah,
no
I know
one
that,
calls
but
me.
your coach isn't trying to
Hold
make fun
on.
of you.
Hold
He's
on.
making fun of me. He's
So
treating me like a sucker.
don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm being insulted daily.
I'm coming. But I saw some clips of yours.
Oh,
And these reporters, Pat, they're asking Gase questions about who was calling the plays. They're like, no, that guy was calling it. And they're like, no, we were like Hawkeyeing that guy. He wasn't doing anything. He was standing there alone, talking to nobody. You were the one calling the plays. And he's like, no, I wasn't. It's it's the weirdest, George Costanza routine of you don't believe. It's not a lie if you don't
believe it.
If you don't believe it, it's so freaking weird. So yeah, it's getting weird there, and they're ganging up on him, and
oh yeah. I mean, New York media, the blood is in the water, and they can smell it. But that's been the case for weeks now. He needs to go. It's insulting. We come into this game, the Jets and Raiders, people may not realize it, but they're one of the longtime rivals in the NFL.
I think that they have to do this fire. The firing will come when there's Greg Williams there's only 2 games left for Greg Williams to try to get them 1 win.
I don't want him to
I
have
don't-
the
But I don't
job
want.
either.
I
He
don't
should be
think.
fired too.
I don't think they want a month of a rejuvenated team. They want 1 win out of this season. I think ownership thinks you just get me 1, and I don't think they want to fire a coach with 5 games left to win 3, which feels
Raiders.
impossible.
We have
but-
the Raiders, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Patriots, and the Browns on our schedule.
I guess fire.
There's
him.
no wins
Yeah,
there. The
yeah.
only team under 500 is the Patriots, and the Patriots I think are going to win out and make the playoffs anyway. So I don't actually see a win on our schedule. It's all dark and comfortless over here. And the
Unless it's
Raiders,
week 17, and the Patriots
The Ra-
aren't in contention, and they lay down for you to cost you Trevor
they won't though.
Lawrence.
They won't. Good, they won't. I think the Raiders bounce back big here. The Raiders should kill the Jets. Kill them. Kill. Tease them down. We're taking the Raiders all the way down to 6.5. It's a 6-point tease.
I'm
6 point
Tim-
tees? So
I'm with Tim.
down to 1.5 for
Yeah.
LV.
Just
Yeah,
bounce
take 'em down.
back. They're just too good. Even if Jacobs is out, they'll win.
Doesn't matter.
They'll cover.
Last week they laid an egg. You just wiped the slate clean on a game. That's one of those games with so bad, there's nothing to have learned from it, and you move forward.
And I should have seen it coming after they were literally being celebrated as the greatest
Yes.
thing because they competed. That's where we are now, Pat, with Kansas City. You compete with them.
You look, people are like, oh,
Oh my god! Except
Well, they also
there's
beat
one
Kansas
goddamn
City this
team that actually competes with them pretty much every time they play them.
Well, the Raiders
Fucking
beat
suck.
them and then almost beat them, so it's probably the Raiders.
Have you been spending any time, Tim, on _Darnold on Reddit?
Just what you send me, and it cracks me up. It's so sad.
It's essentially all of Tim's preseason takes, but presented as satire on a Reddit thread. Although they don't know who Tim is. Like this one. Green Wave. Jeebus finds 500,000 unmailed points and secures a Jets victory over Harvard elitist Fitzpatrick. Our team is great again.
Jets Reddit is very somber these days.
Faker Mayfield misses easiest throw of all time. Pathetic loser who Browns must replace.
Well, I mean, he is pathetic, and the Browns should replace him, and he's not good.
Failing ESPN reporting terrible Tua will be replaced with low IQ phony Fitzpatrick as Dolphins panic trying to beat Jeebus.
Those guys are having too much fun.
The Johnson crime family is silencing journalists. Good use of caps in this, too. I should be doing my Trump voice for all of this. If Hugo Chavez is really dead, then why has he been coaching Justin Herbert all week? Oh, it's pretty good. I'm going to take the Jets in this game.
God bless you.
Was it 8?
I don't have the
7?
guts
7.5.
anymore.
Yeah, they'll win by a touchdown. They'll score a cheapie. You know, Darnold hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in September.
This was a super.
Well, he did miss several games.
That's your excuse? He's missed several games?
Well, no, but it doesn't. It sounds worse than it is when
It's
you
pretty
realize
bad.
he's missed
Tim,
several games.
it's December.
This
I
game,
get that.
This game was one of my biggest bets of last season. The Jets at home versus the Raiders as underdogs.
Did they win?
We were scrappy
Yeah,
then.
They did.
It's back when we won 5-6 down the year.
Well, maybe you can win 5 of 6 to end this year.
I don't think we can win 1 of 6 to end this year. I don't see it, and I hate it.
I'm excited for your 0-16 triumph.
No, it's no triumph, but I have resigned myself to
Is
it.
the
and I
last
understand.
win the kicker being carried off?
No, we won in week 17 last year. A terrible, terrible game against Buffalo's backups, I do believe. The Bills had already their playoff spot clinched and believe played nobody in the game, and we got the win that way.
What's it like being at this point of time of a Jets fan where you've watched the Bills struggle for essentially 2 decades and now they're good and the Jets aren't?
Well, I mean, they're good in the sense that they'll go to the playoffs and probably. I mean, my team went to 2 championship games in the last 10 years. Like, yeah, it's cute, I guess, to see Buffalo and Miami, not be under 500. But at the same time, like, they got a long way to go before they supplant the Jets as the second most successful team in that division by a lot.
I would say that Miami is the second most successful team in that division historically.
Well, historically, oh sure, okay. But I'm talking about in the last 10 years or so.
Paul?
Is Sam Darnold the biggest bust in
No,
in
Josh
Jets
Rosen is
history?
clearly. Oh
Jets
no,
history.
Vernon Golson?
no, Vernon Golson was far worse than this.
But
The
why
tackle
do-
that we
why
drafted
doesn't-
from Kentucky, he was terrible too.
Jeff's
Dwayne
barely
Robbins?
even
Dwayne
reading
Robinson,
your
Robertson,
Darnold takes
he was
anymore.
terrible.
Why doesn't Darnold get like Trubisky vibes thrown at him? Is it because there's
'Cause,
other
like-
quarterbacks from that class who are also bad?
Because the Bears have a top tier defense and made the playoffs and are a playoff contending team year after
No,
year.
I
The
see
Jets
what
haven't
you
been.
are saying.
Like it's
Like,
not
why
also,
aren't they being
the
ripped
Jets
for
didn't
not
pass
taking
on-
Josh Allen? Like, I don't.
it's not or Lamar. It's not Trubisky's fault that Watson and Mahomes went after him. But like Darnold was the 3rd pick, Trubisky was the 2nd pick. They're both terrible.
I have so much more faith in Darnold take 2
But
than
why?
Trubisky.
Why?
Because I believe he's better.
For what reason?
Darnold's been
Besides
set up
you
to fail.
believe he's better.
Darnold's also only like 23, so you get him into
Okay,
a new
yeah, he's a
team, a new
child.
atmosphere. You get him into a place like Indianapolis or Pittsburgh or somewhere where the football culture is healthy, and he's got a chance. Same like when Rich
you know
Gannon
who might be
got
in
to Oakland, he became an
Indianapolis next
MVP.
year? Matt Stafford.
Really?
Maybe, but then you know what?
Clean
You send
house,
Darnold to
new
Detroit.
regime, look place.
Send Darnold to Detroit
Set,
with
like
a brand
Rivers
new
to Stafford. Like
coach?
that's
Interesting.
yeah.
Darnold to Atlanta to replace failing Matt Ryan.
Well, does
Put him there.
Darnold
Where
get
were
to
you-
go anywhere and get to be a starter? Probably not. Darnold's
I
problem is
don't
he's
know.
probably going to go somewhere who's going to also draft a high quarterback, and he's
Now, any team that gets him will probably give up like a second round pick for him at this point, right? So they're gonna not like
Who is giving the Jets a second round pick for Sam Darnold?
almost. Well, there's probably like 7-8 teams that probably would at this point.
The same teams that like wouldn't sign Jameis or Cam, they want Darnold.
if 7-8 teams would be willing to give a second, then one of them's willing to give like a second and a fourth to secure him if he's in a 6-7 team bidding
Or
war.
they'll just wait till they cut Sam Darnold and sign him to like the
Well, they
league
won't
minimum.
cut him. He doesn't make enough money, so they won't cut him.
Well, doesn't he have to? Don't they have to opt into his 5th year next year?
Next year would be year 4, 18, 19, 20. This is 21. This would be his 4th year coming up. So no, not yet.
But as the 3rd pick, he still makes a lot of money. I think he'll get.
Yeah,
paid, like,
but he's
$9
not making
million
so
next
much
year.
money that you need to cut him to get him off the cap. Like the Jets have the most cap space in the NFL next season, so I doubt that they'll just keep him before they cut him.
Smart. Sounds like they're really sticking to their pride like you do.
No, it's just there's no point. If it's just no point.
But you box him out and then you let Lawrence start.
Lawrence will probably start if he goes first overall. He's probably going to start anyway.
Maybe
Or
he'll-
Fields. I think I'd be just as happy with Fields at this point as
he's
Lawrence,
already
which is
hedged.
why-
Already hedged.
No, but that's why I'm not one of these people who's stressed out about. Oh my god, if we win a game, we might have the first pick.
no,
Fields is
trust
also
me.
awesome.
Trust me.
I think
Trust-
that Lawrence is
trust.
better, but I think it's like 55-45 that Lawrence will be better than Fields. No guarantee. No
Nope.
slam dunk here.
I like Fields, but Lawrence is different, man.
Maybe. I've heard this about a lot of quarterbacks in the past. Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. So the thing is, we don't know anything. So the idea that we know that, we should just make sure we have this guy and not somebody else. We said Lamar 2.5 years ago went last in the first round and won the MVP. We don't know anything. And so I presume with that sense of fallibility in mind that I don't know for sure that it would be best to take Lawrence over Fields. I mean, we're going to ruin whoever we get anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Cincinnati at Miami. It looks like terrible Tua isn't starting again. The Dolphins
Good.
are favored by 11 points, though, 42. Is the over-under? Brandon Allen, I'm guessing, is going to get the start again for the Bengals?
Is there quarterback controversy?
With what?
Miami?
I don't think so. It's not like Fitzmagic was lighting the world on fire against the Jets,
No,
the
but-
worst pass defense in the league.
If Fitz wins again, they ain't going. It's Fitz's job the rest of the season.
Maybe you say that, but you don't know.
You don't change. Oh, you're right. I don't know.
You're
But
gonna
I
say you
think it would
don't
be
change. They've already done it once.
It would be unprecedented to make a change in December of quarterbacks. If the guy's got the winning record that he does.
Yeah, it'd be
One
like
thing to make that
it'd be-
move in mid-October,
It would be like
it's
that
another
time
in
that the
December.
Devils fired their coach with like 2 games left in the year.
Lou Amarillo did that 17,000 times just so he could be head coach.
I like it. I like the move, the power move. 11's a lot of points for Miami, though.
It's too many.
Gaskin,
It's
could
just
be
too
back.
many.
It feels like too many, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they barely lost to the Giants last week. They didn't have that fumble. They would have beaten them. Like, this is a bad team, but it's not a horrific team. The Dolphins should not be laying 11 into them. So we're going to take the Bengals to cover this number.
I'm taking 11.
You're gonna eat the 11.
No, I'm taking
Oh.
the 11.
So you're going Cincinnati as well. I'm actually going to go with Miami here. I just think their defense is good, and to rattle Brandon Allen shouldn't take all that much. You know who's having a great season ever since he chirped him? Xavier Howard. Tim's like, he's garbage. He's been fucking fantastic. Does he lead the league in picks, Tim?
I think so. He's probably going to win like Defensive Player of the Year. That's just the way my luck has gone this season.
I mean, it's your luck every year. So you're taking Cincinnati? I'm the only one taking Miami here?
Yep. I
See-
guess.
Cincinnati, not great. Throwing that out there. Miami, pretty good.
No, but that's too. I'm not eating that much chalk with the Dolphins. That's too much.
It's a lot of points. I don't care to lay those points with Miami.
I just don't know how they stopped Devontae Parker, who looked great against the Jets. Very good when
The
Ryan
Jets don't have anybody.
They have the bomb squad. They were all healthy.
No, not on the defensive side of the
Oh.
ball. They have no defensive backs. None.
This is a fun one. Cleveland and Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 5.5. 54 is the over-under, the highest total on the slate in Week 13, although we have 2 games without spreads or totals because 2 of those teams haven't even played Week 12 yet. It looks like Myles Garrett's going to be back for this game. I think that's huge for the defense. Can they stop Derrick? Can they limit Derrick Henry? I guess is the question. Because if they can limit Derrick Henry, then they can run their own Derrick Henry impression with Chubb and Hunt and just a lot of running in this game. Isn't that the way you can see it? And when there's a lot of running in a game, as long as you limit like the 80-yard plays, it tends to stay within a field goal.
I really like the Browns here. The big concern is I do think Arthur Smith is so good at calling the plays for Tennessee while remaining committed to the run, just committing to the run while doing it in such an off-balance way.
Well,
and
no.
the Browns have suffered a lot of injuries in the secondary, and they could probably go after him. But I got to take these points here. I think it is too many.
Feels like a lot. I'm actually going to stick with Tennessee. I think Tennessee is just a cut above. And basically what we've seen from the Browns all season is they beat the crap out of even Jacksonville covered against them. They beat the really bad teams to like the mediocre teams, then lose against the good teams. Tennessee is a good team. Now, when you were saying you appreciate that they have their pass run balance, but they can commit to the run no problem. Much like the Chargers committed to the run at the end of that game by trying to run it in with the clock running, right?
Yeah.
You got to appreciate the commitment to that run. Or Anthony Lynn trying to get me some more Austin Eckler touchdowns. That would have been nice.
Hey, he tried.
Well,
Or Josh Kelly.
Yeah,
Because I promise you, if the coaches can speak to the quarterback, and I'm almost certain if you tell a 4-year bio major dean's list student to spike the fucking football, he will spike the fucking football.
there was a miscommunication, Geoff. I think the miscommunication may have been just within him. Like he didn't know what was going on.
Who's him?
Lynn.
You should have seen the. I don't.
How were the message boards after the game?
I don't read message boards. I don't read that stuff. I don't go to those places. I know what I see, and I watch it again to confirm what I saw. And I watch the post game, and I'm proud of some of the beat reporters for spining up. And
They asked why he took time out to punt when they could let the clock run out?
They put Lynn into a fucking pretzel after that game. They really did, to the point where in the Monday scrum, he had to sort of spend the first 5 minutes defending some of his insane answers. It's like, oh, yeah, I kind of watched the game again, and I now realize what you guys were talking about.
How do you not realize that in the moment?
Well, that's the
Well, he
thing.
wasn't paying attention.
He was on his phone playing Candy
like one
Crush.
time here, he's like, oh, there's like 100 plays in the game. Well, you want me to identify one?
And you
And then-
and you
I
love
know!
Sean McVay
I
for
love
knowing who
Sean-
was on the other team.
No, fuck that. I don't know that Lynn would know the other team right now, but and then you see Sean McVay. He could like recite a 2nd and 7 from like the 31 from 7 years ago and the exact play. And Lynn can't even distinguish the game. It was a plank walk. It was good. It was healthy. It was a plank walk. I mean, Rich Gannon laughed us off the broadcast.
He really did. Multiple times.
Multiple times, but at the end he's like, like, all right. Like it was literally like he couldn't believe it.
And he was coached by Bill Callahan. So that's telling you something.
You just hope now it's even if you like nothing else matters. We're known for this thing now. We're known for this guy. That is like our identity is him and his blunders.
Welcome to the club.
No, but that's no way to grow and excite what has the potential to be an opportunity to grow and excite there's a fan base. There's no coming back, but it will not.
Cheer up. The worst is yet to come, I'm sure.
Whatever. They can't fucking
It'll get worse.
Tim. They can't
Say it. Yeah. Oh, it can get worse, Jeffrey, and you know it can.
Hold on, you shut up. They can't kill me.
You know it can.
They can't kill me, Tim. I'm already dead, buddy. Like, what can they do? What can they do?
Challenge accepted.
Paul, you had something to say?
Since we're on the topic already, is it possible that like maybe Herbert's really good because there's nobody in the crowd? Like
Paul,
maybe
this was a Paul theory that next year,
maybe he'll
when the
suck
crowd
when
gets
there's
back, he's
crowds.
too rattled by the big crowds. He's only good because there's no fans.
But
Listen,
he
I
plays
think
in
that's
LA and
something
they don't
every
have to.
rookie.
He'll thrive at home then.
I think that's something every rookie will have to answer for next year. I mean, the guy shined on Monday Night Football in the Superdome without fans. It's a different dynamic. I would say this is a pretty good spring training.
So Tim, who are you taking in this game? Oh, there's a DC. Or
Just
pro.
one?
You can't have just one, Jeff.
Can't have just one.
That guy was on to something. I mean, this is an incredibly inside baseball thing, but Jeff tweeted at me a tweet last night of someone who said the DC should be sold in packs of 2. I don't agree with that because I believe in buying them by the flat. But there is like a kernel of truth in it, is that you can't just have one can of DC or one bottle. Like, you obviously are going to have 2 or more anytime you have one. So there is something like honestly right about that, but you don't sell them that way.
I can have one. I'll have, when I have one.
I can't remember the last time I just had a can of DC and let it go. Like, I can't
How many
remember.
cans do you have a day?
Depends. Anywhere between 6 and 10.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
10 cans of Diet Coke a day?
It happens, particularly if I'm like out and about, like hanging out with friends or playing golf or whatever, like the equivalence of. Yeah, I would say that's right.
Tim sent us this thing earlier this week, bragging about how Diet Coke was healthy for you. Remember that, Tim?
Well, no. On this scale, it said it was healthy. 3.5 out of 5 stars.
And what did we find
Oh.
out? What did we find out about the scale?
I didn't read it close enough. I wanted to feel good about the fact that I chose was healthy.
Tim just wants to. Tim living his truth. DC, healthiest thing you can drink. Have 10 a day. Are you taking the Titans or the Browns in this game?
Titans.
Late
The Browns just are such a dispiriting team to watch. I mean, the Jaguars were trying to beat them and almost did. And like week after week, they're just eking by. I don't know. The Titans showed up against Indianapolis and flattened them like a steamroller. That was impressive to me. I kind of think they'll do something similar to Cleveland. Cleveland's a very soft team. Could be a very fast game.
Actually,
I think that under is kind of come in. I would be not surprised to see this game be by far the first that's finished on Sunday afternoon with all the running I anticipate in this ballgame.
I sort of have Tennessee in their own class in the AFC because, well, they are really good.
Not one of the best teams, but not in that middle pack. They're
Yeah,
like in the middle.
they
Same as
are
Indy.
kind of-
Indy's kind of in the middle too. When they
The
bring in
Titans
their,
would be like
when they
third
bring in their
right now,
good
right?
quarterback and actually score touchdowns.
Yes,
The
but
Chiefs are clearly the best. The Steelers are second best.
but I think there's a
Titans
definitive
are third
gap.
best.
I think there's a definitive gap there, despite the Titans having a comeback in Pittsburgh. I think the Titans have serious defensive deficiencies, especially in their secondary, that Mahomes and the Steeler offense, when it comes time, would really take advantage. Now, it could be like a Baltimore game where perfect pass to Andrews gets like popped up. They get an interception. They just do Henry. And then all of a sudden, Tennessee playing from ahead, they grow another head for lack of a better term. They become a different monster. But until they get a lead, I don't have confidence they could beat.
And when they played the
Pittsburgh or
Bills, the
Kansas
Bills
City.
showed no resistance.
The Bills had that really tough stretch. They played Kansas City and Tennessee
With like a COVID Tuesday. It was an awkward
Tuesday,
situation.
and they looked really horrible. Like, the one thing I'll say about the Bills, I'm not sure where they're at right now, but their defense looked really good against the Chargers for the first time in months. It was the best
They're
their
at
defense has looked all
they're-
year.
Yeah.
They're at the
They-
Arizona 49ers.
They were off a bye and their defense needed it in a defensively led head coach team came out and showed it.
Are you staring at your next head coach in this game?
He's on a short list. I have a list.
Oh, you have a list?
Yeah.
Are you going to name names?
You want the list?
Well, let's say
Well, I have one in my head, but
Let's say you start jotting them down.
No,
save
I
it
know
for-
the list.
We'll save it for the Chargers section because we
I
spent
know the list.
most of the time about the Browns and Titans
I
talking
know
about the
the
Chargers
list.
anyway. Jacksonville and Minnesota. Here's a fun
I
one.
know the list.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know if Thielen's going to be back. I don't know if Chark is going to be back or Chris Conley. Secret bald Mike Glennon looked okay.
That photo is so great
What?
of Glennon on the screen. It's so great.
Why?
He just looks like Jeffrey the giraffe from Toys R Us wearing a football helmet.
Spelt with a G.
Yes, that's right.
I can see why he continues to have a job in the NFL. I get it.
Competent.
He's very competent. It's like how McCown for all those years kept getting jobs. Like, you'd never want him playing for you, but in a pinch, he's not going to be an absolute disaster.
Nice ACC alum.
But 9.5 points is a lot for the Vikings here. 52.
It is, but the
over-under.
Jags don't have two good games in them in a row. They're a 1-10 team for a reason.
Haven't
they
they
can
just
muster
covered
up,
2 games in a row?
yeah, but they can muster up some good performances hither and yon, but not every single time. And I expect the Vikings to floor them. So give me the Vikings minus 9.5. And I do believe this is the second end of the free money tease. Indeed, it is.
So minus 3.5 Minnesota on the teaser.
Yeah, I this is just a gimme.
I'm going to take Jacksonville. I've been riding Jacksonville the past few weeks. They keep coming in for me. All these, it's funny because I try to think about like, what game do I really like? And I'll hammer that down as my super lock. But I've been really good with the Cincinnatis and the Jacksonvilles. Just the teams that no one, it's almost going to be like the Jets when they cover this week. And no one bets on them. They'll end up like losing by 6.5 or something. Or not by 6.5. They'll lose by
They're going to lose by 6.5, are they really?
They're going to lose by 7, cover on the half. But like I'd be very curious to see like in the flow of week to week, like the last week perception that we have on some of these like really bad teams that they just end up covering the next week, except for Dallas, who never covers. But they never.
The Jets almost never cover too, to be fair.
But they started off the season like 0-5. I think they're like 500 against the spread since.
I think they've covered twice all season though.
Is that true? I thought they've covered 3 times now. Anyway, I think Jacksonville can cover this game. Minnesota just doesn't. They don't string together 4 good quarters. Like they let the other teams linger around, and like James Robinson's legit. I don't know how he ends up rushing for 100 yards every single game when that's basically their only thing that they can do. Even against good run defenses, he does. He did it against Pittsburgh. I don't know how he does it. He's going to do it against Minnesota too, and just being able to move the chains incrementally. Like now, if Thielen's not back, then it's all Justin Jefferson. Like Minnesota will win. But I think the Jacksonville can limit it a little bit and keep it within 10. So I'll take the plus 9.5 with Jacksonville. Geoff?
I'll lay the points here. I'll lay the points with Minnesota. They get a lead. They play from ahead. I do worry about backdoor. Jacksonville, they had 2 straight backdoors.
They backdoored the Chargers.
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
No.
They didn't cover against the Chargers?
No.
I thought they did cover against the Chargers. No, the Jets covered against the Chargers.
Yeah.
That's right.
Their last 2 games are the Jags backdoored with touchdowns.
That's right.
Trying to remember who they were against. Last week against the Browns and the week before.
Miami?
No, it wasn't Miami.
Wasn't it a lot of points 2 weeks ago?
No, they got killed by Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. I'm wrong.
Let's see.
And then maybe a Houston backdoor or...
Yes, they Houston backdoored. They lost by 2. They backdoored the Packers as well.
Oh, it was the Packers. And then there's a big Pittsburgh loss last
They
week.
do have enough playmakers that they can score a long touchdown. Just let your guys... It's not like Minnesota's defense is any good.
Nope,
Like they can give up points, no problem. So
not good.
It's just a big number
What's
for a
the
team
word
with
on
bad
Thielen
defense.
as of now? Or
He
last
has,
you
he
saw?
has COVID.
Oh,
That's why he missed last week. So I don't know if that means he can play this week because it seems to be different rules for different people. I don't quite understand it all, so I'm just going to wait for the injury report and see whether he's playing or not. Tune into Friday's Pat Mayo Experience when I should have that news. I'm done guessing with this stuff. Like everyone who picked up Gus Edwards to play him in fantasy, and then all of a sudden the other 2 guys are back.
I like that a lot.
Indianapolis at Houston. This is on short list for super locks for me. Houston is +3 at home. 51 is the over-under. Will Fuller, cheating Will Fuller from Notre Dame, out for the season. Roby also out for the season.
Seems like Fuller made an honest mistake.
So he says.
Okay, well, I believe him. I don't see any reason not to give him the benefit of the doubt on this.
You know that Brian Cushing is their strength and conditioning coach?
I did
I
know
did
that.
not.
I did know that.
So maybe he's not being as honest with you as maybe you think.
Well, maybe, but it's better to live a life assuming that people are not lying to you than they are. One is more pathologically paranoid than the other.
I love Indy in this game, coming off the loss. It's a get-right spot. Watson, if you go look at his numbers, with Fuller in, with Fuller out, he averages double the amount of touchdowns per game when Will Fuller is in. It's not like you have Hopkins on the other side anymore to just bomb it to. You have Brandon Cooks, Kiki Cutie. That's it. Even Randall.
I know, but we used this logic last week with the Falcons and Julio being out, and the Raiders lost by 1,000,000 points to the Falcons.
Sure, but don't we kind of agree that Indianapolis is better than Vegas, especially their defense?
I don't know. I'd say they're relatively
there's no
equal.
Derrick Henry running down the
No,
pike at you
fair.
on Houston.
Fair enough.
And they also lost Roby on defense too, who was like their best corner.
I'm with you. I'm going to
I continue to believe the Colts quarterback is holding them back, and they should make a change, but they're not going to.
They do make a change.
I'm going to take the Colts, though, with no particular strength. This team is not going anywhere. Their quarterback's holding them back. They're not going anywhere.
But you're taking Indy anyway?
Yeah, because the Texans are that bad in that sense. I will take the Colts here with no confidence.
What's amazing to me is any person who thinks they would have a single more win on their schedule with Brissett at quarterback.
You sound triggered.
When I'm triggered.
Jeff can say what he wants. He knows he's not playing well.
It looks like Phillip Rivers is practicing for the shot put in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's bad throws. He's not getting it. Anyway, it's discouraging. It has to be discouraging for you to watch Phillip play this way.
Well, it's not.
Listen, when he plays at 1:00 and I play at 1:00, I don't see it.
Well, the biggest thing is when they're going well and the defense is holding up, he's kind of perfect for what they do. The dink and the dunk, you kill time off the clock, you pick up your first downs. But when you fall behind by like 21, there's no coming back at that point. The deep ball just looks horrendous.
I mean, who lets you come back from 21 outside of the Chargers?
I mean, anyone when the Chiefs stop trying in the first quarter sometimes and teams jump up on them, then it's just like, oh, yeah, they scored 48 points.
Sure.
Having
the greatest quarterback.
Having a quarterback who can like accurately throw a deep pass is kind of essential at this point.
Hold on, let me check my notes. Oh, I got one now.
You do? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. See, that's good.
Complete 2 fucking Hail Marys at the end of a game.
There you go.
Fucking clowns.
New Orleans and Atlanta. I was really surprised by this spread. Atlanta's only a 3-point dog at home to the Saints, who have a win differential over their past 3 games of 21 per game. 46 is the over-under.
Right? The Saints don't look good.
What are you talking about? The Saints
they look like the best team.
They do look like the best team in football besides
in the NFC for sure.
No, they did not. Last week's score
could be SUPERLOCK.
I know the score was 31-3. That game was 7-0 going into the half, and there was a weird fumble to make it 14-0 going into the half. They looked putrid for the first half again.
I think they literally were just running a clock.
Like
I thought they got a quick look at what was capable, and they're like, okay,
they're going to get into the playoffs with teams like the Packers, and will not be able to get in the boat race they need to catch up.
The Packers.
This is a team like the Packers.
Will not scare the Saints.
They should. The Saints are fundamentally flawed. Their offense just doesn't have the big playability, I don't think, that it's had of years past. And they're too slow. They're too methodical. And I think that they're just I'm unimpressed. I know the stats say they're great, but I watch them every week and I go, this is not an explosive team. This is not an exciting team.
Team playing possum is what I see.
It's a team playing fucking great defense right now.
A team like Seattle, a team like the Packers should eat their lunch when the rubber meets the road.
I'm not saying they can't lose those games, but to think that those teams are significantly better and that the Saints would fear that Packer team for a minute, Saints would keep the ball for 14 plays in 8 minutes.
Paul.
This is just straight up egregious because the Saints won 38-3 against Tim's Super Bowl winning team. What, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago.
No, that's fair. That was an excellent performance.
It was an absolute.
So they played down to their opponent with their running quarterback.
They played down to their opponent and still won by 30.
Yeah, like I don't know, like you can't hold them to last week's game. They're not looking to.
Taysom Hill wasn't looking to set the passing record against Denver. It's like, here, we can just hand off and we'll win by 30. Perfect. Let's do that.
And then they get up like 3 scores, and it's literally let's get on the plane as quick as possible.
Okay, well, put it this way: in 2 weeks' time, they play the Chiefs. If they aren't 10-point underdogs, you are a fool not to take Kansas City.
I mean, I got my Bucks cover last week.
Kansas City might win by 30. It doesn't change anything.
They don't even
I'm just saying the
Saints
team has a problem.
They're crushing.
But the Saints team has a problem. What the fuck do the Seahawks have? What the fuck do the Packers have? They don't stop any run.
But they have explosive playmakers. The Saints have Kamara, who's a running back, who you can bottle up and has been bottled up this season in games. And Michael Thomas is not playing. I'm sorry. I look at the NFC atmosphere, and I think people are deluding themselves by thinking the Saints are the greatest team since sliced bread. I don't.
Nobody-
has anyone
nobody-
said that?
You're the only
You guys have
person.
just made that point.
No, you said that like they would fear those teams. That's
They
where
ought to fear them.
That's where I got uppity. Is when you're actually saying we're making them out like they're some great team. No, you're the one that's actually spinning this in some way where we have to defend them. They're one
They've
of
scored more than 30 points exactly twice since September.
Okay. Paul?
Last week they
Just
won
like-
by 28. The week before they won by 15. The week before that they won by 14. The week before that they won by 35. Like
Then three.
they've
Then
only
three.
given
Then
up more
three.
than 10 points once in the last 4 weeks. Like it's a pretty good team, man.
I think their defense is stupendous.
I trust Sean Payton enough on the whiteboard that he'll draw it up. He'll draw it up when it's got to be drawn up.
And every year they go into the playoffs. Every year people are delighted for them in the playoffs, and every year they face them.
That's very possible.
That is untrue. Every year in the playoffs, in the first round, you lay down a marker that the Saints can't lose. We went over this earlier this week, and then they lose in the worst way possible.
Well, I won't be doing that this year.
Well, good news for Saints fans, finally.
Watch this. They'll have the 1 seed, and then there'll be some shitty team that comes back in that Tim doesn't like, and therefore he's gonna be.
It'll be the
forced to lay-
Cardinals. It'll be like the Cardinals are
to
such
lay-
frauds.
Yeah, to lay
It'll
the
probably be
marker
Tampa,
down.
and it's almost impossible to beat a team 3 times in a row, and I'll really like Tampa in that
That's
game.
all fucking Tampa's got going for it. Because who do they play? I can't wait to talk about Tampa. I'll use
They're not
my
playing. They're not playing this.
yeah. I'll use my Chiefs time to talk about Tampa. Don't worry.
So New Orleans for you and I in the coin, and Atlanta for Tim. I assume you're. Why
Yeah,
don't you take New Orleans?
Atlanta has. You're
He's 100% on
plays-
Atlanta.
He has taken
This
Atlanta
series-
every
yeah.
time against New Orleans over the past 3 years. They've covered once.
Atlanta plays the Saints really well.
Maybe they
They've
do.
covered. They've covered once.
But
in the
now
past
it's
3 years.
points and not like 8.5. Right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons here.
Atlanta
Do you wanna
plays
bet on this
well
game?
against the Saints every
I
time,
mean,
but lost
Do you want
Part
to
of the
bet?
reason
Do
this
you want to
line is
bet
so
on this
low
game? Do you want to bet on this
Part of the
game?
reason this line is so
what's
low
Paul
is
saying?
that
I mean,
people.
the Saints beat the Falcons by 15 2 weeks ago, and he's saying that the Falcons always play the Saints well. They scored 9 points.
Do you want to bet
Yeah, but
this
Julio
game?
didn't.
Julio's not going to play
I don't
this week either.
Do you want to
I'm just
bet
saying,
this
the reason
game?
I don't know, Jeff. The reason this game is so low, though, is because people love betting the Falcons, and the Falcons just won by 1,000,000 points against a team people like. So that's what. As soon as the Falcons do anything good, their line gets super short again.
Shit.
And gets Tim back
And
on
guess
board.
who we're betting then?
I like a cat to catnip. I see the Falcons in the spot, and I want them. So, even though the Saints are a dome team on the road, all the checks are on the Saints side here. But I'm taking the Falcons, and I kind of think they might win.
If you want to check out the dome team on the road theory, go check out Drew Brees' numbers and the Saints win total outdoors over the past 3 years. It's staggering how good they are when they go outside.
Oh, I believe it. It doesn't mean that a team can't win outside when they're a dome team. I just like dome teams when they go on the road indoors.
Detroit and Chicago. Here's a dome team going outdoors. You said your new thing is going to be bet against the Bears?
Yes. I'm not laying points with the Bears. You're out of your mind if you lay points with the Bears.
Oh, no, I'm definitely taking Chicago here. There's only one team Mitch Trubisky can play against, and it's the Lions. I'll take Chicago -3. 44 is the
Jeff
over-under.
loves the Lions here. I know it because it fits his theory of the first team with a new coach. So you don't even have to ask Jeff how
No, in
much he loves the
football, I actually don't believe in that theory. I don't bet on that theory in football. I've spoken about that many times. That being said, I do like the Lions here. Give me the Lions. I think if we can get Swift back and Galladay,
I think Stafford's thumb is fucked
well, that will be a problem.
because it's been fucked the last 2
Trubisky
weeks.
can barely throw a forward pass.
Hey, Trubisky averages 3 touchdown passes a game against the Lions in his career.
That's fine. Give me the Lions.
Well, me and the coin are going to saddle up with the Bears in this one. Are the Bears out of it yet? Because I feel like they're not.
No, they're definitely
Heavens
not.
no.
Heavens
They're not. They're 5-6 and a game back of the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are leaking oil. The Bears, the 49ers, the Vikings are all 5-6, are all quite possibly playoff teams. One team has to get that last spot, and the Cards have a really tough stretch. So the Bears aren't going to get there because they're terrible. So it's really between, in my opinion, the Vikes and the 49ers.
Let's see. Wild card.
I've been playing with the simulator a lot.
Okay. So you got the Rams, the Bucks, and the Cardinals. And then, yeah, you have these. I guess if the Lions win, they can make a run too, can't they?
Yeah, Vikings. There's a lot of teams in there.
Yeah, the Vikings, Bears, and Niners are all game back.
I mean, the Cards are in the driver's seat, but they've got some tough games coming ahead for them. That's all.
The Panthers really fucked themselves. They could have been kind of in this had they have held on in Minnesota.
But I mean, you also remember the Cards are 6-5, and one of those games they won on a Hail Mary at the last second.
So that doesn't count?
No, it does, but they've got to play the Rams twice. And the 49ers.
What you're saying is that the Rams could fall out.
I guess they could. They have a 2-game cushion on the Bears and 49ers. The Niners did beat them twice, if memory serves. So if it's between them and San Francisco, they'd get the tiebreak on the Rams. I don't know. It should be an interesting battle down to the end with between Minnesota. I guess Chicago is technically in it. Minnesota, San Francisco, and the Cardinals.
All right, Chicago from the coin and myself, Detroit for you two goobers. Brings us to the midway point of the show, which means it's time for a Cust Corner update.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, hee 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 hee.
What do we get? McDonald's
Update.
trip count? What's
No.
the update?
Do you remember Tim's favorite morning show from last week?
Yeah.
They all got laid off.
Shut up.
Tim was
After Tim ranted?
Well, no, Tim was inquiring to why they were playing Christmas music on that station. It turns out they just laid everyone at the station off. That's what Tim does to you. I feel bad for those guys now.
Yeah, it's not funny. Don't laugh. I feel terrible.
You should feel terrible. It's your fault.
You should feel
I really liked this morning show. I don't know what I'm going to listen to now. I'll find something, but it's not funny. Stop laughing, Geoff. I can hear you laughing. Don't laugh at the misfortune of others.
Tim-
Look.
I'm laughing at you. Not that. You killed them.
No, I didn't.
You're a bad person.
Joe Burrow 2 weeks ago. You know, these good, innocent folks.
Yeah, the Custy Awards are going to be very competitive this year.
Oh.
I don't think so. I really don't think there's that much this year for that show.
No, couldn't be.
I really don't think there is.
Wait till the Jets go 0-16.
I'm prepared for it.
I don't think that you are.
I am.
You don't even have your
see it
favorite
coming.
morning show to soothe you anymore.
Yeah, very funny.
Oh, my heartburn's activating right now.
Oh, you need to call Cam and get the good stuff.
Yeah, not the bargain basement antacids.
Yeah, Tums, the minor leagues of antacids.
Honestly, I only need minor league stuff. Usually a good swig of water can just...
Pushes down that reflux.
Yeah, push it down. Oh, Tim.
What else do we got on the go?
So what are they doing over there now?
They're just playing Christmas music till January. and
So
they're
you
gonna
you
retool.
should be the new host.
Jesus.
No, I don't want that.
How
I
quickly
don't-
would that devolve into like some sort of like? Because someone asked you like if Tim had his own show, how quickly would it devolve into like an Alex Jones type program? But it would just start there. So who knows the depths of where that could go?
No, it wouldn't. It'd be more like a Colin Cowherd style show.
Was wrong about everything. What are you implying?
I just would pontificate until I was tired of it. Or the way Jim Rome used to be, right? I don't know if he's even on radio anymore.
I believe Jim Rome is still on the radio.
Throw me a vine,
You like-
bro.
He like created the talking by himself on the
I think
radio.
he's CBS Sports Radio. To be honest,
Maybe. I don't know.
That's what the viewers
Tim
want.
would be
The Cust
more
morning
like
show.
would be more like the end of days Francesa.
Yeah, it's true.
Like that's what
Falling asleep on air, criticizing callers who have questions
Drinks
for me.
quadruple
Yeah.
the amount of Diet Cokes while
just
on air.
crushing DCs.
People have been asking for Tim to have his own show, but I told them just if Tim was left to his own devices, like
Yeah.
look at the struggle that I'm not saying that you're having struggles, but just the equipment set up and you trying to learn all the equipment, the mics to use, the camera to use. Imagine Tim trying to do that.
Yeah, it would probably be
I
its own
figured out how to
thing.
use my own mic very easily, I should say.
Tim, I sent you a thing that the only thing that you had to do to your microphone was literally plug it into your computer.
Well, I had to assemble it too.
Tim, you had to screw it into the mic stand.
Assemble it.
Yeah, like it came in pieces, so I had to like screw it
Do we have
together
the
in
same
different
one?
spots.
No. I got him one with an arm like this. So he had to take the mic and
Affix it-
screw
affix
it
it to a
into
table.
the arm. And then make sure it stayed on
Anyway.
the table. He's a hero of technology. He understands.
figured it.
What else do we have?
Coke has been doing this thing.
Oh,
Sometimes they do it in the summer, but they're doing it now.
is it going up your nose?
They put your name on bottles.
That's been happening
I
for
need
ages.
to get one
That says
with my name.
Cust. If
No,
anyone
no.
from Coke is watching out there,
No,
please
no,
send
no,
us a
no,
bottle
no,
that
no,
says
don't hijack
Cust.
Why is
Please
he
don't hijack.
like talking about something that's like a 4-year-old
I had no
marketing
idea.
campaign?
But they go through stages where it happens. They're doing it for Christmas. So the Coke bottles are out now with people's names on it. I have been feverishly hunting through the gas stations that I go to, looking to find one
For
with
a
my name on
Bort?
it. I haven't found one yet. So if anybody finds one, let me know. I'd like to have one.
I would prefer a custom one that just says "Merry Custmas" on it.
You can make him.
Well,
custom.
please, no.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
we
sure.
should. Oh, we're definitely doing that then.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Don't hijack this. This is wholesome.
I have my,
Mm.
I have my entire Christmas box of things I'm sending to Tim. I'll see if I can get one of those and send it off.
When you sending it?
Probably later this week.
Okay.
I have to get it out early in case there's like a delay.
Yeah.
I have to send stuff to my dad, my father-in-law.
There's something I was hoping to get that I'd give to Tim.
I mean, you can go if you have it by the end
Is
of
it
the
like
week.
the time you mailed those Peeps Oreos to our friends so that I could eat one?
Exactly.
Oh, did I? I did do that, right?
Yes, you most certainly did.
How do you feel about the Peep shortage right now?
It's discomforting. As someone who believes that Peeps are excellent and they're an excellent thing at Christmas as much as they are at Easter, I like the Christmas Peeps and wish I could have them, but I don't see them around. I didn't see any Halloween either. It's sad.
They went out of production because of COVID.
Yeah, just like all those flavored DCs you can't find them anymore. Why? Because they're only making popular things now.
So
The
are
only
you
things
saying that
people actually
are you
want.
saying that Peeps aren't popular?
I'm saying that the Christmas Peeps
Oh no
clearly
no.
were not.
Well, there's no Peeps being made. Are you saying that Peeps aren't popular because they're not being
At
made?
Easter time, there
No,
would be a
Tim,
million.
are you saying that Peeps aren't popular because they're
I'm
not
saying
being
Christmas Peeps are not
made? Oh,
popular.
so now that it works for one thing but not the other thing.
Well, yeah, the people don't buy them as often at Christmas, even though they ought to. They buy them at Easter.
I don't think people are buying really at Easter. People
They
are
are-
disgusted by
people are
Peeps.
always buying
People are disgusted by Peeps.
No, they're not.
Things that so Tim gets a bunch of people fired by listening to the radio station.
No, I didn't.
Things that Tim hates. Doug the Pug just launched a charity. So I recommend that everyone. I mean, he has millions and millions of followers as it is.
What a
But
guy.
I know you can go donate to the Doug the Pug Foundation. There's a new Doug the Pug calendar that's come out. You can get a toque. You can get a sweatshirt.
People's Choice Award winner.
Yeah, he
Doug
won-
the
he won the
Pug.
vote.
Doug the Pug. Saw you had a great Thanksgiving.
He ate too much.
Yeah.
Poor Doug.
Yeah. He's a white meat guy.
Tim, are you going to donate to the Doug the Pug Foundation?
No, I'm not going to be donating to that foundation. Well, something I do recommend, and I wasn't sure if it was on this year, but I saw the advertisement for it yesterday. Subway's got their $25 gift card, get a 6-inch sub deal on. So Christmas time is coming. Now, it's not like most years where like you're going to have lots of people drop by your house and like random people who show up with a gift for you. And so, oh, I got you this. Where if that's the case, you always want a cache of gift cards on hand to be able to give one to somebody else if they give it to you. But I'm telling you,
why
people,
don't you just do what I do for people when they show up and they bring me a gift? I have copies of my headshot signed by me that I give them. Go,
that's an ingenious idea.
just
I'm
hold
not
on to that.
so-
It'll be worth something.
I'm not as smart as you. I should have done that. But what anyway, gift cards are a great gift. And Subway gift cards are such a great gift because you get to get the 6-inch sub yourself.
Yeah, so you
If you want a
give
plus-
someone something they hate for something that you
No,
like.
this is a plus. It's about being plus EV this Christmas and buying the Subway because people say, "I'll give me a gift card. I don't care where." That's often what people say.
Dude,
So great.
does anyone ever said that? Get me a gift card. I don't care
Oh,
where.
I've said that a bunch of times to people.
Yeah,
They
but
say,
you're
"I
a
want you to give-"
lunatic.
So you get the Subway card, you get a 6-inch sub. Here you go. Here's $25. Merry Christmas, Aunt Edna. And oh yeah, then I get a 6-inch chicken teriyaki for me. And so it's like you win and we win. It's like
You're
giving
only
and
doing
we're
this for yourself. This is not in the
No,
spirit
I'm
of
not
gift
just
giving.
doing it for myself.
You're giving
I'm spending the money.
you're giving presents that people don't want for stuff that you want.
No
This is
one
essentially-
wants it.
No one wants your fucking Subway gift cards, pal.
Yes, they do. They
Give
obviously do.
your
Subway puts a
head
deal on every year.
Shake.
Yeah.
No
Subway
one
puts
wants
a deal
this
on
shit.
every
Only
year. So
broke
people
students
obviously
want
want.
that
Gross,
shit, man.
gross,
Like broke students
gross.
that can't afford to go get takeout for themselves. So like you can give it to like a college student or something. They'll be like, I'm not able to usually afford takeout, so this is great. But once you have an actual job,
Yeah, Tim,
nobody
you're an
wants it
adult
anymore.
now.
My advice to you is find places that give you free stuff when you buy gift cards and pick those places to give to people.
Okay, let me. I gotta ask you this: if this is so important to you, where you're collecting like the worst rewards possible by getting fucking free Subway, why would you not translate over to using a credit card for everything, where you can collect points for things like cashback or flights or something like that? You won't do that, but you'll pay out the yin yang for Subway.
It's not out the yin yang. I'm spending the same amount of money I'd spend on a gift card somewhere else, and I get something immediately that I really want. Which
But
is
the people that you're giving to don't want it.
Well, they've never said that. I've never had somebody say, "Oh,
well, they're
great,
being very
so-"
polite to you, Tim. Let me tell you, no one wants your fucking shitty Subway gift cards. Why can't you give them like a Visa gift card, and then they can legit spend it on anything, an Amazon gift card?
Because I don't get a free sub with those.
So it's all about you.
No, it's not all about me. Somebody
I
specifically
didn't
requested-
realize that Christmas was the season of taking.
If somebody requested a Visa gift card or a Starbucks card or whatever, sure, great, then that's what I'll get. But if you, I think this is actually just a good practice to have extra gift cards in the house in case somebody drops by and gives you a Christmas gift, and you're like, oh, I didn't expect them to give me a gift, or I didn't expect them, so I've got something on hand to give them. I actually think that's a really good move that you should, because if worse comes to worse and you don't use them, well, then you just use them yourself, and you're no worse out than you were before.
Paul?
I would argue you should probably get your gift cards or something from maybe smaller businesses, not big, huge companies like Subway that can
How about
withstand
that?
a COVID-19 and all of that.
Yeah, we can go to Jeff's
How about
favorite
you
barbecue place.
Give
We can
back
get
to
gift cards
this-
from there.
Give back
Let's
to
We can
the
go
small
support-
business, not these
Let's
big,
not
huge conglomerates.
talk about it.
We're not allowed to
bottles
talk.
of barbecue sauce to support the local businesses.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about your favorite barbecue place, the home of anti-maskers. They're calling the people BBQAnon. Which is a great name, by the way.
Let's not.
But great barbecue.
It's my favorite barbecue in the city, and right now my wife forbids us from eating there.
Well, just don't go to the one in Etobicoke.
And I've never been to that location
Well, you're
that
not
is
allowed to
causing
eat
the
there
stir,
right
but the
now.
guy owns the places. And I've just gone as far to say I won't go there in the time being, but I'm not committing to a permanent boycott. And I was literally there like a day and a half before this thing exploded. And I even bought like a big thing of sauce like to take home because I enjoy the place so much. And like, I'll support a small business. Like I'll buy the jar of sauce.
Did you throw the sauce out?
No.
Your boycott.
And I swear to you, I told my wife, don't let me catch you having that sauce. Don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you telling me I can't go there and I see you, you sneaking the sauce.
So Jeff's
Well,
Jeff is one
Yeah.
of those people that showed up to the place when he bought his stuff with the mask, but
No.
the hole in the mouth cut out like the rest of them.
No, I haven't been. It's an unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Despite the fringe businesses that Geoff likes to support, I do think that if you can get stuff from small businesses, local small businesses, it's obviously a great idea.
Name one
But,
small business that you've supported.
Whatever. I'm sure. No. There are some restaurants near my house.
Okay,
Which
name
I
them.
have
name
been-
them. Give them a special
I'm
shout
not-
out on the show.
The Chinese food place that you despise.
Manchu Walk. No, Tim hasn't been
I
to
have
Look
made
Ho Ho in
trips.
ages.
I have made trips to Look Ho Ho, for example, recently.
When you
to
say
get
recently,
Chinese.
like how long ago?
This week because of the new restrictions. So this week,
His hot
to
dog
get-
pizza.
Yeah, his hot dog pizza place.
That was two Saturdays
after
ago.
He got his tug. He drove 2 hours to go get a tug and a pizza with wieners on it.
No. And that place is now closed for a while.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. His spa is shut down. You got the guys fired. The spa is shut down
Why? Because the moot?
because Tim was there.
No, it's because there are
Cursed.
restrictions, and most of the people who go to the spa are from far enough away they don't want them to travel right now. So
Did you know that Tim is really embracing millennial culture?
How so?
He was talking about how his oat milk coffee was lit AF, according to him.
I've been buying oat milk lattes from Starbucks, and I have to admit, they're excellent. I wasn't sure, but I tried one. It's like almost like oatmeal and coffee mixed together, which are two fantastic flavors. And you sort of admix them, and they're amazing. Now, I mean, I guess some people might think they're pricey. I don't know. $6.60 is not that much for a latte, but
Jesus Christ.
anyway, that's what it costs. I don't really care. I think it's
No, you're
delicious.
Tim too rich.
It's worth
What
it
would
to
you
me.
care?
Well, no, it's just like there are things to penny pinch about and things not to penny pinch
So
about.
why do you need to get a free sub to do something?
'Cause
nice
I like
for
it.
somebody.
Why not get the free sub? I like what I'm getting. And
Why
plus
not
I'm
just
giving
get
it-
things that people
Well,
like
then you
and
can go get your
spend
sub.
your $7?
Why don't you just buy the $25 gift card and get the free sub? Then just keep the gift card if you're going there anyway.
Well, you could do that too. That would make some sense. I'm just saying that that's a good gift. It's good to give people gifts. And if they say, "Oh, get
That
me a
they
gift
don't
card
want.
from wherever," I don't care. Then get them that. Great, problem solved.
They-
Well, you say there are things to penny pinch
just
on.
get
and
them
things
a
not to penny
Starbucks
pinch on.
one, not a Subway one.
But you say that there's things to pinch pennies on. There's things not. Oatmeal latte is not thing you can pinch pennies on. That's just not one of them. Then what is?
Gifts.
Because you say this every week about there's things to save money on, but you don't seem to save money on anything.
Dinner.
I like to go to places where I get gasoline, where I will save some money if I use cash or debit rather than credit.
But you're losing it on the credit card points.
Yeah, but I'm saving money on the gas, and that's worth it to me.
But it's not worth it.
I don't know. I'm sure I have
Do
to
you
rack my
even
brain.
do you have a credit card? Like, do you have credit?
Of course I do.
Do you? What's your limit? Like $300?
I'm not getting into what my credit card limit is.
You're scared
it's
that you're scared that the internet might take it. That's why he's afraid to.
It's much higher than it needs to be.
We were talking-
$500.
Yeah, $500.
Oh, it's exorbitantly high, and I would never come close to spending that much money on it.
$600. Well, Tim was talking last week about how he's afraid to buy anything online because it might steal his credit card. He's like an 80-year-old from 2004.
I'm very afraid of identity theft.
So how many tugs could you buy on that credit card?
Oh, stop being so vile and smutty.
Why do you think? Listen, Tim, a tug is a natural part of life.
No, not at a clean, upstanding Nordic spa. It is not a bordello. That is not where I went.
I read the website and it said if you need to release.
No, you didn't, and it didn't, and that didn't happen. Stop lying.
Everyone tugs. Didn't you see that book?
That was ridiculous.
Did you see it, Geoff? Everybody
Of course he
tugs.
It's the oldest profession in the world, Tim.
Yeah, okay, but that doesn't make it ethical for like. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not casting aspersions on
I never
anybody.
realized you had such a hard stance against sex work. It's a profession.
I am
You're
not
trying to
casting
ostracize
aspersions.
these people.
I'm not casting aspersions or judgments on anybody. I'm just saying that at that spa, that stuff is not supposed to go on. That's just not their business model.
Not
But
supposed to.
Not
go
supposed
on.
to, but you have such a high credit card limit that you're able to afford it, though, right?
Well, but what would that matter?
Well, you'd be able to afford it. You'd be able to.
But
grease,
how would you
grease
pay
the
for
right
such?
whe-
How
grease
would
the
you
right
pay for
wheels?
such a thing with a credit card?
Oh, Tim, come on now. It's just like when I get onto these gambling sites that they'll take my credit card and be like, yeah, this is coming from the UK and this is the business name that it comes under. Come on, Tim, give your head a shake.
Oh, that's not proper. I don't know. That stuff that I like to do things above board. That's just who I am. So I've always been.
So the oat milk lattes, which are costing them $60 per pop or something like that, but it doesn't
$6.60.
Doesn't matter.
This morning, for example.
All of these millennial things that Tim gets all up in arms about, like when we had the water bar, there was too much avocado toast. Every time that he tries one, he loves it.
Always.
Always. Without a doubt, every single time, every example that we've had, Tim, of you trying one of these things, you love it.
Not every time.
What can name me one that you didn't?
I am not a lover of avocado toast, for example. I like avocado on its own. I like guacamole. I don't go nuts for avocado toast.
That's not one. So give me one.
That was one.
That wasn't one because you said you like avocado toast.
Not enough to like have it often.
Yeah, but you don't dislike it, but you make fun of people for eating it, despite the fact that you don't seem to mind it. So give me
No,
one.
these are just
give
fringe
give me one that you. Avocado toast is like sold everywhere at this point. But give me one of these things that you've like made fun of, that you've actually tried, that you've actually hated.
I mean, remember those artisanal spoons of things?
No.
Oh, we talked about it many corners ago. Like these artisanal
Did you ever have
spoons.
one?
Well, no. But
Well,
I
how do
would
you know? But what I'm saying is that every time you try one of these things, you love it.
I tried that black pasta once, and I didn't like that.
The hell is black pasta?
Yeah, you like this squid ink, black pasta stuff.
I don't even know
I
what
ain't
that
care for
is. Jeff, have you
Well,
ever
they-
heard of this?
I don't have a clue
I think
what
he's
talking
making
about.
stuff up at this point.
No, I'm not. Just some of us are a little bit more connected to the real world than you guys are. But anyway,
With your black squid pasta?
it's always on MasterChef, for example. Every year, someone has to make that, for example.
When did you have it?
I don't know, like a year or so ago
Where?
in New Brunswick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was not good.
You sound like you're lying.
I'm not lying.
You sound like you're lying. And that also doesn't sound like a millennial thing. That sounds like a super like fancy thing.
Well, those are synonymous, basically.
Oh, really? You think that all fancy things are millennial type things? I would actually
Well, they
argue the
live-
opposite.
They let their reach extend past their
So like
grass.
these
They live
people that
outside
don't
their
even
meat.
want to pay for cable are fancy.
Well, they wish they're like we talked about earlier, people with champagne tastes, even though they have a beer budget, and yet try to live a champagne taste either.
He's talking in circles. He just can't
I'm
admit
not.
that he's Mr. Millennial.
No, I'm not. I mean, there are things that millennials do that I don't care for. Like, you think I'd ever ride a fixed gear bike? I don't think so.
Well, you can't ride a bike, so that's out of the
I
question.
can actually ride a bike just fine.
There is
thank
no
you.
way you can ride. Let's show us a video of you riding a bike.
I've ridden bikes all my life. Of course,
really?
I can
When
ride
was the last time you rode a bike?
several years ago.
When you say several, do you mean 15?
No, 10 years ago.
So you were riding bikes when you were 23, really?
Of course, I
Really?
bought one. In fact, I bought one,
Mm-hmm.
drove it back from the place
Mm-hmm.
because it couldn't fit in my car,
When was this?
and was so disgusted that it's from a Canadian Tire that no longer exists in a traditional stopping place. Let's put it that way.
No,
And
let me ask you. How
Rolled it
long,
back
how
to
long
my
ago?
house.
How old were you when this happened?
It was like 10 years ago.
You were 23 when you lived in Calgary.
No, it was during the summer. I was living home during the summers every year.
He's
And so-
lying. You hear these?
No, but
lies?
it's true though.
He's lying.
But it's true. I can. The bike is still down at the boathouse, and
Ooh, look at that boathouse.
There we are.
Fancy.
and whatever. Anyway, it's down in the boathouse. It hasn't been driven since the day I bought it and drove it back from the Canadian Tire, and was so annoyed that I had to drive it all that way.
Collection
never
of
bothered to ride it again.
properties, eh? This guy.
He's just piling up assets, apparently. Still don't believe he can ride a bike. The last thing I had is Tim was talking about this caviar,
Oy.
his deviled
Oh,
eggs
this
with
looks
caviar.
so good.
So explain to me the meal.
It's a deviled egg. And I mean, deviled eggs are delicious. I actually happen to make excellent deviled eggs.
We're sure that's
It's one of
true.
the things-
Doubt it.
No, I make really, really good deviled eggs.
Yeah,
No.
but no one can trust your taste.
Nope.
What do you mean? No, they're really good.
You don't
I
make
use good
anything
stuff.
good.
You have never eaten anything I've made,
And nor
so you
would
don't
he.
know that. I can make some things. I'm not a chef. I don't pretend to be. But when I say I can make a particular thing well, then you know it's the truth, because I wouldn't say it if it weren't true. And I do make really good deviled eggs, but these looked like they were creamier and velvetier than the ones I make, and it had caviar on top. And I thought, now that would be delicious.
And olives.
Yeah, I would pick those off.
So here's what I'm asking you, Jeff. You're a man who's you're a fancy man. You've been to some places. If you are ordering something fancy, which I would say deviled eggs with caviar on top of them and olives, do you get into the habit of picking stuff off fancy food? Because I feel like that's
No,
something a child does.
You gotta just.
You either eat it or
yeah,
you don't. Eat it.
Yeah. When you're at fancy places,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Tim would pick it up.
No.
I'm
Like
almost
he's, like
like
he's 3 years old.
it's almost like however the chef recommends, and
That's
if
how
you're
you eat
not
it.
like game, then you just try something else that you might.
Chef
be
can make it
game
however
for.
he wants, but I'm the eater. And if I want to pick out the mushrooms because mushrooms are vile, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm
I
paying
said,
for that.
this is what children do to food.
No,
Yes,
there's some of
that
us
is
who
that is what children
don't
do.
like certain types of food. and
Then
will
don't
not eat
order the thing.
But I'm also not going to make the chef like change his whole menu to accommodate me. That wouldn't be right.
Well, no,
Make it
if
however you're going to make it.
I would say, Jeff, if you order something without those things that you don't like in it, that's fair game. But if it comes, now you're just picking stuff off of it, like give your fucking head a shake.
No,
How-
I'm going to
how
pick it off.
Day class A.
Well, fine. You know, so what? Then I guess that's just. Guess I'm not too rich after all. I don't
Well-
like
Well, Tim,
certain things.
I think you have a very large misunderstanding between monetary wealth and class.
Yeah, you
As-
make it sound like I'm Jethro Bodine from the Beverly Hills.
Well, you don't have as much class as him either. But you have as much money, but you have less class.
Yeah. I mean, my point is, if I don't like something, I'm going to pick it off. I'm not a super picky eater by any means, but there are certain things that I just can't be bothered to eat anymore because I don't like them and will not eat them
Then don't
ever
eat
again.
it. Don't eat it in the first place. It's not made to the way that you like it. Don't eat it. Don't be.
Well, when I
don't be a
can
picker.
order,
Oh, what are you gonna do with the olives too? You're getting hors d'oeuvres at somewhere. It's a very classy event. You're wearing a bow tie. You're in your tuxedo, and Tim's here picking olives off shit.
no, I would do it discreetly and then just drop the olive in the garbage where it belongs in the first place.
I don't like it. I'd have to eject.
You know,
Tim
if I
from
went
my
to
party.
somebody's house for the Super Bowl and they made a big pot of chili and there were mushrooms in that chili,
Don't eat it.
I would eat the chili, but I would keep the mushrooms off to the side and huck them in the trash.
Let me ask you. You know 2 other people who would do this, and would you say they're the least classy people you know?
Well, I don't know if I only know 2 people that would do it, but I know who you're talking about. I think there's lots of people. You underestimate the amount of people who would, if they were given something and it had stuff on it they didn't like, that would pick it off. I think most people
But we're
would
not
do that.
talking about ordering a burger where you ask for no pickles and then you throw the pickles out. That's fast food. Do whatever you want. We're talking about deviled eggs with caviar on them here.
Yeah, if I went to a restaurant and it was a menu fix and it wasn't up to me to make changes to the menu and I was presented something
You
and
don't
I had
order it.
well, you don't order it. You're just given the menu. You know, some restaurants, good restaurants, there are no menus. You show up and it's whatever the chef is cooking that day, that's what you eat.
What
And
was the
so if you-
last place that you've been to that's like that?
There are places
Give me one.
like that.
Give me one.
My wife goes. I don't.
Give me one.
I won't go because
There's one in the city.
Because
There's one
what?
here in the
Because
There's one of
you
those
don't want to play by
places.
those rules.
I just can't play by that rule. I'm not a free spirit. She goes with her friends who like that stuff.
But if
That's
one
the-
goes,
don't go there.
Yeah.
but if you do go and you come up across like a sauce you don't like, or they put tomatoes or something on it, then I'd pick it off.
That's just horrible behavior. You really need to break that. It's embarrassing behavior.
No, I disagree. I think it's very, 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 very common
It might be common. Tim, what do we know about the common person?
that they're hardworking, honest people.
They're not. Paul.
I just wanted to hear Tim say the word caviar again.
Caviar.
I thought so.
It's like Alex No
Sound like
Red.
an elitist. Tim
like
too
him.
rich.
Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals, underdogs at home by 3, coming off the very bad loss from both these teams, actually. 48.5 is the over-under. I don't really have a good feel for this one. If the Cardinals can get pressure, that means Geoff is going to be awful, right? He'll be awful.
I got a feeling on this one. It could be the super lock of mine. I'm picking the Cardinals.
How come?
3 points at home. I think that's a present.
Teams are very even. It seems
Yeah,
to me.
I agree. If it's going to be a 3-point game, the question is whether it's going to be the Rams by 3 or Cards by 3.
Well, then that doesn't matter. Then
What
it
was
takes
the
Cardinals.
Bills? What was the Bills?
Well, no, because then you
Arizona
win if it's
spread?
if it's a Cards by 3, you win the bad.
What
And
was
if
the-
you lose, you push.
What was the Bills
Right.
Arizona spread?
Bills were like favored by like 2.5. Maybe it got up to 3 at one point.
I think the Bills are better than the Rams.
We saw them play, and they were about even.
I mean, didn't the Bills jump out to like a 20-point lead in that game
Yeah, but then the Rams brought it all the way back,
and then lost?
That's what the
and then
Bills do
lost
every
at
week,
at the
really.
gun. So super close.
I like Arizona's. Could he be super lock?
I like Arizona. I don't want to be it. I will not be my super lock. I think the Rams will probably win by 3. So I think I'm playing for a pusher.
Playing for a push. Well, you should tease that. Then you should tease the Cardinals up. You think it's a 3-point game.
No, I'm not going to do that because
Why?
I don't want to step in front of the Rams. I like this Rams team and think it could be really special.
It's a round of Cardinals for us. Bounce back for Kyler here.
Really, and want Tim to pick the Rams.
Sorry.
Because I wanted to bet this game.
You don't want to be on the same side as Tim. He doesn't seem like he has a lot of confidence in it, though.
I don't. I feel very, very, very unconfident.
You told
about
me
it.
to ask you later about betting you on a game. What game was I? The Atlanta game.
I said I don't know. We'll have to talk about it offline.
Why don't we talk about it on the show? We're doing a betting show.
I mean, I didn't even put Atlanta in my teaser, so I'm not that confident about them.
You talked. It wasn't about them. It was more about New Orleans and how they're giant
Well, I
frauds
just think
and are no good.
I don't think Taysom Hill is all that good. As much as I think it's funny that he plays every week.
Funny.
Sooner or later, that's going to blow up in their face. Maybe it'll be this week. Maybe it'll be next week. I don't know when, but it just seems like they're just playing Russian roulette over and over again. And sooner or later, it's not going to work.
Giants at Seattle. This is a position I like the Giants in. 10-point dogs in Seattle. 48's the over-under. Colt McCoy is starting at quarterback for the Giants. This is actually in contention for SUPERLOCK for me. This is where the Giants cover games. On the roads is big underdogs. You know where they're not great? As favorites, like against Cincinnati. They're good enough to stick around with Seattle here. Like, their defense is good enough. Colt McCoy's not a disaster by any means. Like, how much of a downgrade is Colt McCoy from Daniel Jones? Really?
A downgrade, but not a substantial one.
No.
You don't get the rushing.
No, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe
Yeah,
yeah, maybe
maybe
it
it's a
sits back
2
in
or
the
3.
pocket and throws.
I like
Were
the
Jones in
Giants,
this game,
too.
I think the game would probably be 8. So I think it's about a 2-point spread.
Just a Monday night, short week, Giants. Just give me 10 points.
And the Giants have been really good on the road. I think they've covered, they're passing 9 on the road. So they're 9 of 10. Who are you taking, Tim?
I'm going to take Seattle, and I'm going to, without a ton of confidence, but I am going to tease them down, and I feel much better about that.
Teasing Seattle down to -4.
Yeah.
Seattle by
I'd
a field
expect-
goal in this game, by the way. Last
We'll
second
see.
field goal for Seattle.
We'll see. I expect Seattle to start slow, but then end up winning it. I don't know, 27-10, 27-13, something like that.
I saw a lot on the internet this morning, Geoff, about how they're not letting Russ cook anymore. Do you know why that is? Lockdowns. He's not allowed in his restaurant anymore. Can't cook. He's no Yan. Yan can cook.
I saw
Russ
you had a nice
can't
birthday
anymore.
dinner.
What's that?
I saw you had a nice birthday dinner.
It was Russ's birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know
Can
that.
Weber cook?
Weber cooks, yeah. Well, he's like you. He only uses a microwave to cook. Your prefix microwave menu.
About a minute.
The Countess from Real Housewives of New York did sing the song Money Can't Buy You Class. That's what I was trying to remember. Tim, you should take that to heart. Philadelphia at Green Bay. This was a Thursday night game last year that was just awesome and came down to the very end. This time the Packers are favored by 9 at home. 47 is the over-under. How does Philly keep these games close?
The defense isn't bad. That's how.
Because they look
Seattle,
so bad.
Seattle got stopped on a few 4th downs yesterday. Probably shouldn't have been so close to set up the back door. I'm taking the Packers here. Just
I am too, and I'm teasing them.
if you watch the football game on the Mondays with the Eagles, I'm not. I don't know that I'm betting the Packers, but for the purposes of doing a show where I'm picking each game, there's no case to be made for the Eagles.
Well, let me throw this one at you. Can their offense look any worse?
No, but I don't think it matters.
I think the Packers might have a tough time moving the ball in this game. Like Tim said, Philly's D is not terrible.
Nope. And they
can
showed
get to
some
the
real.
quarterback. They have moxie.
That goal line stand early in the game after taking all those personal fouls to pretty much put Seattle down there and then to get off the field on 4th down was quite remarkable. The only problem was 3 plays later, they're punting and Seattle has a short field all night. It was
4th and 31 and Wentz threw the ball 15 yards down the field in the 4th quarter.
Got to
It was
raise that
4th and
completion.
I
31,
have never.
and he threw an 11-yard pass.
Can you think of an instance, at least in our time, post, I'll say like 95, 98, 2000, where a quarterback drafted that high
And was good.
was good, and completely died? I mean, RG3, I guess, could be the example, but I feel like there's factors there.
Well, is there no
His-
factor with Wentz that the guy like completely destroyed himself 2 straight years? Like his body broke down.
So now he's just throws Steve Nash bounce passes,
Honestly,
like
as
to call
much
it
as
the
you
Matt
wanna laugh
Castle
at it,
bounce pass.
the Matt Castle.
I think there's a case for Mark Sanchez there. He did go to 2 straight championship games.
Yeah, but-
and in that second season in particular, he played really well in his second season.
But Wentz was like a legit MVP candidate.
Fair enough. I'm
And
just
even
saying
at
that
the end
he's
of last year was
comparable.
amazing. The completion numbers, like for 5 games without anybody to end the year, and then he gets knocked out of the playoff game because he takes a knee to the head from Clowney, I believe, or something with Clowney. And
I mean, Vince Young had a moment too where he was really good for like 4 years and then just stopped being good.
No, he wasn't. It was like
Yeah, he
2.
was.
It
And then he
like
just stopped
2.
being good.
It was like 2, and he was never that good. It was very. I don't want to insult anybody right now.
Lamar-esque.
No, it was more like Tua-esque. And like those Tennessee teams were very complete teams. Those 9-7 Jeff Fisher teams, sometimes 10-6 would play wild card weekend. Very two complete lines.
And you have to think that the offense that Vince Young ran back then is essentially what most teams, not most teams, but a lot of good teams are running now. Like the RPO stuff. Like what Vince Young did, Kaepernick came in for like 2-3 years and just did the better version of. Kaepernick is probably one that was like at the highest level and then just dropped off.
Yeah,
He didn't have that draft capital.
No, he didn't.
though.
But
he
people,
went in the second round.
But people liked Kaepernick.
And I
coming out of
guess
college.
Tim would say Goff, but I think we all agree he's always sucked.
Yeah, no one thought that Goff was.
Yeah, but even when Goff went to the Super Bowl, people weren't saying he was an MVP candidate, so it's not quite Goff.
Baker, maybe?
No, because
you
Baker
see,
was like,
we got to the
whoa, he's
playoffs.
cool. There's something there.
And he
there
set
was,
like every rookie passing.
but
record.
there was never like, holy shit, Wentz. And Wentz popped before Mahomes showed up. So it was like, who's the next wet? Like, it was just like, oh my God, we got to find Carson Wentz.
Well, I'm taking Philly in this game to cover the 9 because I do know who the next Carson Wentz is. They're in the next game. Justin Pervert.
You know, that's the scary side of it. That's where it's like, whoa, this shit can end fast. Despite the eye in the sky and the continuous praise that feels nice to hear. I watched some of Belichick's words this week. Apparently the Patriots looked rather closely at Justin Herbert
For what?
draft last year.
But they didn't have a pick.
There were some rumors that he could, if he got past the Chargers,
Maybe they'd trade
people
up.
didn't really know where he could go because there was a stank on him in April.
Well, the Chargers.
We covered this game in Boston, remember?
That's right. That's
That was about 5 or 7 games into Lynn's tenure, and you guys knew right there this man is just not for the job.
Oh.
When it was like a 4th and inches, he decided to let Nick Novak attempt a 55-yarder.
That's also
Yeah.
when your boy Travis Benjamin fumbled coming out of the end zone.
Oh, I
He
hate
took a
that
kickoff
mother.
out of the end zone and fumbled it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Uh,
every game.
The Chargers are favored by 1. 47 is the over/under.
Really?
This is like a blind New England bet here.
Yeah, sure. You should all bet the Patriots. I'll bet the Chargers, but you should all bet
Are you
the
actually going to bet the Chargers this week?
Patriots.
Or are you just picking them for the purpose?
So is this a
of the
round
show?
of Patriots? Actually, a round
I'm
of
taking the
Patriots?
Chargers.
No, Jeff's taking
but
the
if
Chargers.
it should be a pick 'em, and I like the Chargers on a teaser. I had the Chargers teased everywhere last week that they still covered because we were over that 10. Chargers.
The coin likes the Chargers.
I mean, there's
I
a
like
lot
the-
of Belichick will confuse Herbert.
After seeing what he did to Kyler last week and seeing what the Bills did to Herbert, like the Bills
Well,
actually
hold
played
on.
well.
Yeah, I want to say Herbert had a little happy feet, couldn't get like flat-footed, especially when there wasn't pressure. Made some bad throws, and then Henry and Allen made some drops. But still, it was all just an Anthony. Like the only takeaway is it was a 3-hour plank walk from Lynn, but we saw a good defensively minded head coach off a bye versus a rookie quarterback. And
I also think there's no chance that this game is.
and sorry, Tim, do you know that the Chargers and my rookie quarterback just played 2 straight teams off buys?
Yeah, that's garbage.
Nonetheless, who cares? It's a season where, random things are happening to lots of teams. It's nothing to complain about. And the Herbert's most uncomfortable games certainly didn't happen against that defensive wizard. Despite losing the game, everyone's made it. Vic Fangio is a great defensive coach. But after that Dolphin game, Vic Fangio was like turned into some defensive mastermind when really teams that played Denver this year haven't had a problem moving the ball. Yes, they beat a Patriots team, but the Patriots settle for 5 field goals. So if you do like the points expected on that game, sure.
The Jets couldn't score against them.
Yes. What I'm trying to say is it seems like Brian Flores and Sean McDermott, those were the coaches in having seen everything drop back this year. Those were the 2 coaches that caused Herbert to look the most uncomfortable.
And the
Defensive-minded
first
head-
game against the Chiefs, where he played well but not great.
Yeah.
But he also played the vaunted, amazing New Orleans Saints and somehow didn't beat them, but they're so amazing.
But
I
they
guess
were
how
at their
could he
low
not have
point
beat-
in September. That's a team with aspirations that you don't rank. We all know how the Saints start seasons. The Saints are just revving
Same
up.
way they end them. Same
What?
way they end them.
You're right. Listen, I can't defend how their seasons end.
Well, Tim picks them every year.
But you saying that they should fear Seattle and Green Bay is all that made me angry.
I would.
Now, why are you interrupting me talking about the Chargers to go to a different fucking direction? That's rude.
I agree. I apologize, and I'm going to go on mute.
So the coaches that have the defensive pedigree, because they're few and far between now, right? Like guys that are head coaches who made their mustard as defensive guys. I mean, I got a list for me that I would like to see. I don't think I have one defensive name.
Well, you know who the next coach. I mean, there's no
Adam Gase, right?
I wasn't going to say Gase. We're talking about defensive-minded coaches.
Rex
here.
Ryan?
I was going to say Matt Patricia, but Dan Quinn might be available.
No, we're more likely to bring the Ryans in to run the show.
Although Anthony Lynn should have been fired on Sunday. Just absolutely straight up. You can't have his losers stink around these people. It's teaching them how to be losers.
The Chargers have never fired a coach.
Quit being
in the
cheap.
season.
Fire the fucking guy that you're going to fire anyway.
Well, it doesn't matter. You fire him now, you fire. It has nothing to do. If they don't fire him in the offseason, then we could throw that cheap thing around. I don't think that's an option. They're just going to let this thing play out. They're just going to let him walk a fucking plank. But it's now what we're known. We're known for like a lot of funny, embarrassing, easy to make fun of things.
Like the no fans?
That's like a thing. But that's all like secondary now to this guy is the coach. And as someone that doesn't get the local care.
The Chargers are now a national story.
Yes, we don't get
great news.
I'm getting there. Because we're not like a franchise with a fan base and this like frantic talk radio fan base, you know, that's buzzing and have an owner obligated to do interview appearances like other teams and shit like that. It is now the responsibility, to your point, of the national media to help me. And I will do something. If they don't fire him at the end of the year, I will do like I've had
kill him.
I will.
Will you murder
I don't
him?
think I'd kill him, but I could kill
Will you
myself.
burn your
like,
Herberts in protest?
No, but I think I
Will
will
you light yourself on fire?
See, I was thinking something closer to that. Like I will harm myself. Maybe like a legitimate hunger strike. Like I will not.
How long do you think your hunger strike would last?
I don't know. Water. I don't know.
Paul?
The best part of that is that he said, I don't think I would kill him. That's it.
It's just they'll do what's right. He'll be fired at the end of the year. I don't think he's going to be fired before the
those
end of the
DMs.
year. I'm not.
Did you know? Did people DM you to be like, did you see what Anthony Lynn did this week?
See, those are the worst people. Like the game just ended. I don't care that Anthony Lynn cost you money. I'm sorry. You bet on Anthony Lynn. Like, see, now the problem is it's so bad. And the Chargers, I guess, were a pretty popular play last week from the sharp betting guys, and the number dropping showed that. And these are pretty smart, witty guys. So, like, the amount of funny, witty comments that despite their anger and losing way more money than I bet on a game, it just comes this mountain of witty comments. I mean, do you even see, I'm not calling Roto as the math guys or the sharps, but did you even see their headline on their like game recap?
On Roto World?
Yeah.
I think that was Denny's headline.
It was like, and it was Bills beat Anthony Lynn like 20. So, yeah, I don't know. We're here.
Can I ask a question, Geoff?
Yeah.
You tweeted, and I want you to interpret this tweet because I
God.
read it like 6
I
times,
couldn't
and I
figure
don't
it
know
out
what
either.
it means.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you lost money, but I feel great. That was a lot. Walk the plank 3 hours straight. No amount of school building in Africa can change the outcome now. Truly horrific display. Polarizing L for Red Zone guy and Lord Gambler who wants to bet them, but I think he finally did it. Lightning bolt. Now, I don't. I recognize all of those words.
How deep into the crown were you at that point?
No, but
I recognize all those.
I
words,
don't
but
understand
not
it at
in that,
all. Like, it makes no sense.
But not in that order.
I'm sure it
of
makes sense to
ordering.
you, and you know what you mean, but I have my doubts that anyone else knows what
Okay,
you're
so
talking about.
I'm just gonna go find it so I can go through that one.
You tweeted it at.
Okay,
at
I'm so okay. So yeah, I
7:26
got
on
it.
the
I already
timer.
got it. I'm sorry if you lost money, but I feel great. Which means Lynn cost a lot of people money, a lot of people who bet the Chargers, and by all accounts, points expected game situation should have covered that game. I felt great because forever I really felt the organization liked Lynn so much as a man, but now like Gannon laughed at us for 3 hours. We
That's
watched
what
it.
I felt great means.
You should have wrote that.
No,
I felt
that's what
great.
I
That was
felt
very
great
confusing.
means.
No, I feel great. Like we walked the plank. Like that's it. There's no coming back from that for Anthony Lynn. He's a great guy. You might want him around some people. What does he do with like 5 off days in a year? He goes to Africa and builds a school. This is a man's man.
Okay, that's a bit inside baseball.
That's all I'm fucking talking about. So that's it. There's nothing that can save you. Being a good guy doesn't count anymore. You're just a fucking embarrassment.
What does the last line mean?
It's a polarizing loss because, for like I said, the guy that just watches Red Zone, the guy that's just betting on the game, like the losses are polarizing.
Oh, I thought you were calling Anthony Lynn red zone guy. Like he was like known for his prowess of red zone offense or something.
No, it's a polarizing loss for people. I don't know, for Red Zone guy and Lord Gambler, like better. But I think he finally did it, as in he finally did enough where it doesn't matter how much you can like him. He could be the Virgin Mary. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's over.
You can see how that was confusing.
I don't give a shit.
I'm just asking you. You can see how it's confusing.
No, it makes perfect sense.
It's like when you're in 11th grade English and you don't quite get Shakespeare and you have to have someone walk you through it. I feel like that's what we just did.
Yeah, one of my favorite philosophers.
We walked the
can't
play.
read German
It
philosophy,
wasn't
no matter
one
what
play.
language it's
It
translated.
wasn't one play. A lot of this Lynn shit is like one polarizing moment late in the game. And then you guys get all excited about that. And then there's games like that come to mind, like the Bucks game, that you probably don't see the things that I'm seeing because they're far less polarizing and they drive me nuts for the entire course of the game. And then there's a game like Sunday that was literally 4 fucking hours of every 8 minutes, this guy put on his clown makeup in every which way fucking imaginable. And then at the end of the game and the scrum where the media is asking about it, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And yet, my coach is somehow still worse than yours.
On fucking Thursday, I'm watching that Mike McCarthy show, and I'm like, holy shit. At least that's not my coach. Fast forward to Sunday, give me all the Mike McCarthy.
Paul?
Yeah.
The Bills are lucky they played us.
I just wanted to say that a lot of attention went to, the Chargers being down 10 late in the game. I mean, it wasn't even close. But, like the Bills were up the entire game. But the thing that kind of went unnoticed was at the end of the first half.
Didn't go
Yes.
unnoticed. Unnoticed to who?
timeout.
Unnoticed
The
to the red zone guys that you talk about.
Okay,
on
can
the internet.
I-
That's why I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that like that was a real mishap. You're at like midfield, 4th and 2.
Paul, the other fucking moment where
Like,
he calls a
what a
timeout
coward.
on the 4th down,
Total coward.
and they think that they spotted the ball wrong. He's so stupid. Can I actually explain to you the end of the game? Because he was a coward for not going for it. As he explained it, there was a malfunction in for not understanding, because my boy or the guy, Daniel Popper, who sometimes I give a hard time to, because I don't give a shit about his taco reviews.
Why not?
I
Write-
pay a
write
fucking
down that name,
I
Geoff.
pay
Write
a
down that
fucking
name.
subscription.
Paul, write it down.
No, he's not a rival.
He sounds like a rival. You hate his
Sounds
taco.
like on the lower end of rival.
What if,
I-
what if
I
it
care
was
about his
what if
taco
it-
review.
What if it was Taco Tuesday, though?
Listen,
Yeah, God forbid he give a taco review
It's-
living in
I
Southern
pay for
California.
an athletic subscription. It's my only true
Does
coverage
he,
of the
does he
team.
give you your
$1
other stuff?
a month. The $1
Yeah,
a
your
month.
$1 a month.
I don't have anything else.
Write that down, Paul.
Yeah, write that down. Because that person, while he's on the lower end of
No,
not
Pop, don't get in between
not
me
like the
and...
Rovell t-shirt that you're going to have to wear.
He's gonna block you on Twitter. Then you'll
Then-
never see any of it.
No. I let him know when he ignores me. I think I'm being muted. I let him know I'm paying that $1 a month, and he better fucking respond. I don't know where we were here, but
End of the first half.
the day
timeout.
after, like, Lynn had a whole explanation that he didn't have after the game. So he clearly had to think of something because he saw how dumb he sounded after the game and put 2 and 2 together after watching the tape. He essentially said that he decided he didn't want to go for it anymore, right? And there was a malfunction in the communication device, so he didn't want Herbert to call Hut. So he had no choice but to call the timeout.
Oh.
A fucking moron.
Wow.
Right? Because, like, if Herbert will call Hutt with, like, 18 seconds left, go for it.
Yeah, to try to score.
To try to just run a play, and then we don't get it. So, Lynn, we literally could have run the half out. We could have run it to 1 second and thrown a Hail Mary. If the Bills want to use a timeout, that's what probably should have happened to not allow us to do that. But it's time and time. Again, we got to the 5-yard line and ran 3 times, including a speed option, to the outside with Josh Kelly.
Tim's guy, Josh Kelly.
I cannot believe it. That being said, all of this craziness, all of it, I'll go back to one thing. There's going to be a team that wins the Super Bowl. And then there's going to be a team that loses a Super Bowl. But after you know what? Fuck the team that loses the Super Bowl. There'll be a team that wins the Super Bowl. And after that one team, you will not be able to name 5 more teams that had a better season than the Chargers. You say what? What do you mean? All that matters is getting the quarterback.
I think you're living your own truth.
You're starting to sound like Tim.
You were down 17-6 at the half against the Bills. Like, that first half wasn't even competitive. The Bills just have bad quarters and let people back in. We've been doing it all season. But at no point during that game did I think you guys were going to come back and win.
This is going to be like when Tim comes on after the Jets go 0-16.
Sorry, hold on. Hold on
I really
a second.
didn't think you guys had
I mean,
a
we're
going
to get Trevor Lawrence with the first pick overall.
You don't know it, but you're like
I was
lost.
watching
So if we're going to get Trevor Lawrence with the first pick overall,
I was watching with
Oh,
my
Geoff is the only one that watches
us.
the games.
No. Like, yeah, the Bills can be successful. We got a franchise fucking quarterback. We're not going to lose in the second round of the playoffs. That's all that matters. There'll be teams that are happy where they are. In terms of who came out of this season a fucking winner, the Chargers are in the 5 spots after the Super Bowl winner. You could debate that. Hold on. Paul can, like, break that down into how they played in a game in Buffalo. Doesn't mean
you guys the second most successful team when you
I didn't
barely
say
even win any
second
games.
successful. I said you will not be able to name 5 teams in the league. I'm not saying that they're the 5th. I'm not saying
You got to
they're the
speak into
5th.
the microphone.
I'm not saying that they're the 5th best team in the league. I'm saying in terms of grading, like, who had a good season. The season is an unmitigated success. It has nothing to do with what happens in these games. The coach will be fired. They got a franchise quarterback.
You think that the coach is going to be fired? He
I
should
mean,
have been fired at the end of last year.
The Jets get their doors blown off for 16 straight games. They fire their coach. They get their franchise
Unmitigated
quarterback.
success.
You won't find 3 teams that had a better 2020 than the New York Jets.
You know what? He's not fucking wrong.
Yes, I am wrong.
Holy shit. This league's about 2 things. It's about winning a Super Bowl and then finding a quarterback who can help you win a Super Bowl.
I pray for your sake that he ends up being good and he doesn't go like full like spiral next year.
Maybe he could, and then we got to go find another quarterback, and then this season doesn't end up feeling as good. But I don't know.
It's not as good as the team that won the Super Bowl now. Okay.
Oh my God. You're breaking like
Lost the Super Bowl, sorry.
I didn't say that they're that. I'm saying they're these
Just
teams.
said, well, screw the Super Bowl loser.
Yeah, you could put us up there. It depends what position they're in. If Tampa Bay loses the Super Bowl, we are in an exponentially better place than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have a 40-year-old quarterback. They better win the Super Bowl this year.
So let me get this right. So say like Pittsburgh sweeps the table, goes 16-0, doesn't win the Super Bowl, gets to this, them going 16-0 in the regular season, Chargers still had a better season.
No, see, now you're like breaking it down. I'm talking about how it presents for the long term and how this game is successful. The Steelers, if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, are a really good team that have a really old quarterback and a question at quarterback going forward. If you don't think this season was a success for the Chargers, based on what your expectation was before the season, you're out of your fucking mind.
At some point, Herbert's got to win some games, though. It's not good for him to lose every single game he's in. It's just not.
You're right, but whatever. If I don't grade a rookie quarterback on wins.
No, I don't either, but if you lose every single game?
Well, he didn't lose every game. He's going to
Just about.
He's going to win a couple, and he'll hopefully win a couple more.
I know the audio listeners can't see this, but your hand is shaking in rage.
I am enraged that you guys are so blind to the fact.
Are we blind or are you living your truth? Come on now.
I think I think you've really misinterpreted what I'm saying.
Potentially, but you also, the tweet that no one understood, you said was very easy to understand.
I think you've really misinterpreted what I am saying.
So you'd say, what you're saying is that when we go into next season and people do their power rankings of teams in the league, the Chargers will be top 5.
No.
What are you saying?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying, no, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you had to grade, like, which teams came out winners from this season.
If I had to give, like, letter grades to the 2019 season, A+, Los Angeles Chargers.
No, that's not what I'm saying either. That is not
what are you saying?
I am saying this season was an unmitigated success for the Chargers in the case that it really does look like they found their franchise quarterback. That's so much better than winning 8 games with a quarterback who isn't a franchise quarterback or losing wild card weekend. There will be teams that go farther than them, that win games, that they're in a much better place entering next year for. A couple teams will have nice playoff runs, and one team will win the Super Bowl. But the Chargers, there will be teams that made the playoffs that the Chargers, in theory, had a more successful year than, just because they got a franchise quarterback.
Why don't you just say the Rams? Because I know that's
no. I'm not even thinking about teams. To me, see, what you don't understand is I don't care for 8-8, and I don't care for, like, middle of the road. I'm in it forever. I'm in it forever, and I only want them to win a Super Bowl. And I think getting Justin Herbert makes that so much more possible than it was a year ago with the situation the team was in. Therefore, this team...
Really throwing Rivers under the bus.
Rivers at the stage where it was, we were in a bad place. Guy threw an insane amount of interceptions last year. I don't think there's any debate. The Chargers this season was a success for the Chargers just based on finding a quarterback. And I would say the same for the Bengals if he left the year with 2 legs.
Well, you better hope that Tim doesn't start agreeing with you. Because you know what happens then.
I think you guys completely misinterpreted the argument. I don't think that they're a top 5, like, talent team. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think they go on the field tomorrow and beat teams who are top 5 in the league. But I'm saying if you have to rank the teams that came out of the season winners, the Chargers will be on the winners list, even with
speaking of winners this Sunday, I'll take the Patriots in this game, and I'm teasing the Patriots up. Bet the Patriots now; they're going to be like 2.5 point favorites.
If you don't think the Chargers finished
anyway, give me the Patriots here.
I think Paul completely misinterpreted what I was saying.
I still don't really know what you're on about.
Very confusing.
Would you say the Chargers?
I would say the 2 teams that made it to the Super Bowl have.
I agree.
A more successful season.
I agree, but the outlooks going forward might not be the same.
Oh, okay, fair.
That's a much better way of saying it.
I don't think you were really saying that. Maybe that's what you meant.
Yeah, it's not
like
what
they
I.
are
that's not,
in a.
That's
they
not
have
what
a lot
we were
of
getting
talent.
from
You have a lot of talent on your roster, and you found a young quarterback who may
like
be
the- you're like
really
the
good.
Bills.
Things are
And
looking
maybe
up.
one day
That's
they'll all
great.
play.
That's great. I can't
agree
wait.
to that
Me and
statement.
Paul played Sunday. I got a feeling we won't wait 8 years to play again, or 4, because that's league math, guaranteed. I got a feeling we won't. I got a feeling we're gonna play in big games.
Or I thought you meant they both come like 3rd in their division next year.
Maybe
Then
we
they'll
do
play
have,
the next year.
but that would be a fun crossover.
Well, who's on your short list for coaches? Jim Caldwell, Tim's favorite, I'm sure.
Jim Caldwell should be on everyone's short list. You're a fool if you don't like Jim Caldwell.
He's not on my list. It's not
No,
even a.
that's too bad.
It's
Then
not even,
I guess you don't want to win. I guess, but I mean, you had such a successful season. That what do you care?
It's not a short list.
I actually secretly added somebody to Geoff's list for next season the
Oh,
other day.
not just. Oh, really?
Like a YouTube tape
Tim,
study guy.
Tim, hold on a second though.
Geoff.
Hold on. I actually have to go back to something.
1 second. I want to hear this from Paul first. Paul, who did you got added?
Some guy named 1 second. Some poor like YouTuber named Alex Rollins NFL. Geoff woke up and just like demanded that this guy apologizes for
He
giving
called
Herbert
Justin
a bad
Herbert
grade.
the biggest bust ever. So I asked him if he released an apology video yet. I don't know why Paul's turning that into something.
I mean,
Going
that's
after
my
random
job.
YouTube people?
No, he's got
Customs,
like
2000
80,000 followers.
I
Random.
have like
Fourth annual
20,000.
Customs.
This isn't good. I don't need people coming after me for having a laugh.
Oh, there was something else there. Oh, yeah. Back to something you guys laughed about. Hold on a second. Show me the playoff teams. I'm just saying, the Jets, to me, after this season, I like more than teams that are going to play in a playoff game. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence.
They might, unless they win.
If they get Trevor Lawrence.
And we have Becton, who's
I don't
probably
wanna-
the best,
oh
best
my
tackle in
God.
football.
Jacksonville
Might be the best
still
tackle in
could
football.
get there.
You're right, but I don't want to like.
Very successful Jacksonville Jaguars
Let me look
2019
at some of
season.
these teams' names.
We get it. You're living your truth, man. It's okay.
No.
You get to be a fan. That's okay.
No, let me look at some of these teams' names.
Like you'd rather be the Chargers than the Vikings, is what you're saying.
Not even close.
But Kirk Cousins is good. He scored more fantasy points than Russell Wilson.
You'd rather be the Chargers than the Washington football team?
I see you didn't have an
Assuming
answer
they
for
make
that
the
one. Alex Smith, very good.
I like where their Jets outlook with first overall more than I like the Titans outlook.
I
on
do
a
too,
5-year
but I'm holding
window.
my cards to my closer to
So
my
the
chest.
Titans are going to be like, in terms of wins and where they finish, they're going to be drafting 27th overall.
And have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
You're
this
right,
year and
but
next
when
year.
they don't win it, my point is,
But they'll
when
have a
they're-
chance next year, too. They'll have basically the same team.
Okay, great. I don't think that team is good enough.
That team could win the Super Bowl this year.
They play a style that can allow it, but as I established,
They
when
almost
talking
did last
about
year.
it, I mean, that's just my point. So you guys laugh at me like thinking the Jets, with owning first overall, actually had a successful season. You better fucking believe it was more successful than winning 6 games. And if you don't, you're a goddamn idiot.
So what you're saying is that the Jets had a better season than the Chargers.
100%. Well, they're in a very similar place. Yeah, sure. You know what? Equal, very equal. Except there's more pieces there. If there's more pieces, I believe, on the Chargers roster. But if Trevor Lawrence is a franchise quarterback, then yeah. If Trevor Lawrence is half as advertised, they had a better season than the Chargers.
And we got 2 first-round picks for a safety.
That's all I'm saying. You just are here to bet games and play red zone and play fantasy, and you could laugh at the takes I made. But on an outlook thing, the Jets are
You really
gonna-
have a lot of contempt for people that bet in fantasy.
No,
Despite what
I
we're
do.
doing right
I
now.
do all of that. But I'm saying, to me, and some of them don't see the game. They just watch plays inside the 5-yard line.
They're the coin, is what you're saying.
No, they see more than the coin.
So you're thinking that the coin might be a better.
Who's the 7th seed in the AFC?
the Raiders?
Right
the
now
Raiders are at
would be-
Miami.
Would be the Dolphins, I
I
think.
don't know. I think the Jets with first overall are as good set up as the Browns.
Oh, well, yeah, the Browns are in real tough
just-
shape.
That's
They don't have
all.
a quarterback.
There's a team that wins a Super Bowl, and then there's everyone else. But within that, there's a structure as to who actually is setting themselves up.
Indianapolis is in the last spot right now.
That's an interesting one because there's people I like who could play quarterback at Indy that I'd be high on, but I wouldn't
I
see
agree.
the Jets as far behind. Once they
No, the
own,
Jets-
once you
in
own
20
first
Yeah.
overall with this kid, everything changes.
Oh, yeah. We will probably make the playoffs in 2021, and we could probably win the whole thing in 2022 or 2023. I agree.
When we laugh at you, Geoff, you know where it's coming from.
But I didn't say that.
It's what you're alluding to. It's what you're saying without saying it. That you're basically you've become Tim. Nothing the Chargers do is bad anymore. It's the greatest thing
hold
in the
on.
world.
No, let me ask you a question. No, this is
And we
this
go
will
into next
summarize
year,
my points.
13 and
the
3.
Titans lose in the second round.
Mhm.
The Chargers win 4 games. I think the Chargers had just as successful season as the Titans.
I mean, I guess it depends what you consider the term success.
Well, I've already
Maybe-
fucking explained it.
Okay,
Not
well, I
very
think
well.
that is a very contestable theory of success.
Yeah, for
I think
people that
winning a bunch of
care,
games and
people
going to
that
the
care
playoffs.
about winning championships.
Okay, but there's only one Super Bowl winner a year. And Your team
Exactly.
is probably not. But you can't think about the only success is a Super Bowl.
No,
That is
no.
madness.
That's
That
my
is not the way
point.
no fan can think that way. There's a lot of ways to have a successful season and lose in the playoffs.
No, there's only
Just
one
because
way
you
to
lost-
have a successful season and lose in
No,
the
I
playoffs.
disagree.
It is to
I
think that
disagree.
you have a team that can win a Super Bowl.
Sure, but that doesn't mean you have to have won it. That doesn't mean that you had to have made the
You're
second
right,
or
but
third
then you're
round.
just like everyone else, and you get backed up, and there's teams with good outlooks that are just as attractive of you, if not more. Even though you
To me,
played,
that's
even though you
that's
played a
success.
couple extra Sundays.
That's just as successful to me than crashing and burning. And yeah, you have a really good quarterback, but there's a wasteland all about you. I'm sorry. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I think your theory of success is a very narrow and idiosyncratic one. And
Fine,
not one
but
take.
I'm only here. Like, if you've been a friend of mine long enough and seen this, when the
I know what you're
Chargers aren't
saying.
competitive, I don't even want them to win in December. This
Yeah,
year,
see,
I'd
I'm the
like
exact opposite.
this year. I'd like a couple December wins because I do agree it'd be nice to just get the kid a couple more and to rub some stank off in the winter. To me, if you're not
If you
capable,
need someone to rub some stank, I know a guy.
the absolute worst place
it.
you could ever fucking be is this middle land of 7 and 9 picking 16th. It's like that is wasteland.
Okay,
That is
okay.
the ultimate wasteland.
Let me ask you this then, because there's a team, I think, that reminds me potentially of what the Chargers could end up being. Now, the Chargers could be better than this, they could be worse than this, but the team that you've described, the 6 and 10, 7 and 9,
Atlanta who?
the Lions.
That will suck. And they
Because
had one
Stafford,
Yeah.
you would say, by all accounts, we found the guy.
Yeah, you
And
would.
he's good.
You would. And then they had some high talent, like Keenan Allen is no Calvin Johnson, but they had high-end fantasy wide receiver fun. They had Namda Kongsu. We have Joey Bosa. There are a lot of like
They had the guy, they
Yeah.
had the talent,
Yeah.
and then
And they
guys would
couldn't
get
put
hurt,
it-
they had bad coaching.
bad
and then-
ownership,
and they
just
got-
a
and then they got
historical
to the-
stink.
Then they
Yeah.
got to the playoffs, and they got waxed by the Saints.
Waxed. But there were a couple years where the outlook for the Lions was pretty exciting.
Yes, and they were the,
And you felt like
but,
if
but
it
they
clicked-
they felt to me like the team in the preseason, the Pro Football Focus was like, who's
You
going
don't wanna
to
be
this
that
year?
team.
The Lions, and you know
don't
who
wanna
that team is going to be next year? The Chargers.
Well, I've called that all year, but I think next year's also way too early for the Chargers. Like, I don't think next year we should be seen as a Super Bowl team, even if healthy.
No, but
next year we
playoff-
gotta-
but a playoff team.
Next year we got to
10 and
find
6.
we got to find a culture and play healthy and be cool, and then we can take off. I'm not here saying Tim's like we get Lawrence and we're contending.
We
To
should
me-
make the playoffs right away. That's what teams with elite and first overall quarterbacks do as soon as they get them.
well,
So,
you love Joe Burrow. You traded for him. The Bengals aren't making the playoffs.
yeah, well, he tore his ACL, the poor fella, and
They
MCL.
were making it anyway. Anyway,
but
I
if
don't know. You guys say I'm wrong. To me, this season, as long as they fire Lynn, unmitigated success. Because
What if they don't fire?
Then I'm gonna come back next year looking like a fucking thimble, because I will like have a heroin addiction.
Ooh, fun! I know a guy. He's outside the door. He sleeps there. You have to walk over him to get.
No,
into
I
the
can't.
building.
They will literally put my well being in serious danger because I care too much. I don't want to go through it again. I'm okay being bad. The laughing stock Lynn stuff, I'm not comfortable being. I don't. We
Yeah,
gotta
well,
get.
you have your quarterback run into the rear end of somebody on national television, and they get shown on TV for 10 straight years. And you come back and tell me what it is to be a laughing stock of the world.
What about the one that sees ghosts?
Exactly. I've been through this, Geoff. I know what you're feeling. It doesn't get better.
I feel good.
Well, I'm glad that you do. And I hope that it gets better for you. I wish you no ill will. I'm
They're
just saying.
they're just there. They'll make it.
Give me
work.
this coach's list. I have it written down. It was supposed to be 14 minutes ago. We were going to read it.
Okay, well, the captain on the list is obviously first choice for everybody, and I don't think you need to fire your coach early because his agent will just keep him alert, and that would be Eric Bieniemy. That would be also stealing. I want to raid the
Eric
staff.
the enemy.
I want to raid the staff. I want to bring them all. Let's
Sorry,
go.
Geoff. If we have Lawrence, there's no way he goes with your guy over Lawrence. Sorry.
Listen, who knows? Who knows?
Wait till the Jets
I
trade
do.
the first pick to keep Darnold.
Anyway,
Flacco.
I mean, does he
God,
want
I'll
the
have to spin
stomach
that.
of having to? He might just not even want to play his friends twice a year. So I get that. I'm not so worried about like the division factor more so than he might not just want to play people he cares about. With the extra playoff spot, like when we do the math at the end of the year, if you don't make the playoffs with 7, you just don't belong, right?
In the AFC, it's going to be tough because they're going to be like a 9-win team, 10-win team
But you
that
don't
might not
really,
make it.
but you don't be
At
like,
the same
oh,
time,
we're mid. That team.
sure, but
If you're good, you're going to get in. If you're good, you're going to get in.
yeah, if you're good, you should get it. But
Yeah.
someone like, let's say Baltimore ends up losing to Pittsburgh. They have all this COVID shit. They run the table, go 10-6, and don't make the playoffs.
This is where you're right. You're right. You could have a bad injury and then you come up short at the end. I get that. But anyway, I'm saying with this new playoff spot, it really does feel like if you're good, you'll
You have
find
no
a spot.
excuses, Yeah.
And then it's really no particular order, but we'll go with the 3 assistants in Arthur Smith, who I love in Tennessee. Brian Dabo, I see 3 receivers running open on every play. But I don't know if these guys are leader of men. But Lynn was a leader of men, but he can't fucking tell time or space.
Hands off our guy.
Oh, you're going to lose your guy. I seen the concepts. Joe Brady, I think could deserve.
I think you should have Salah on that list.
He is on the list. He's the only defensive name on the list. And if you want to go college, I'm into this
Herm Edwards.
Matt Campbell.
Okay. So those are the guys that you want. Tim, let's come up with a realistic list of who the Chargers are going to hire as their head coach.
What?
Some loser. Who are like the biggest?
Jim Caldwell?
Jim Caldwell, Matt Patricia, I think are 2.
I actually do think
candidates.
Robert Saleh is on their list.
He
If
should
I had
be.
to predict who they would hire, I think that's who they'll hire.
I think they should hire a defensive guy and then turn the
I
reins
agree.
over
They should
to
do-
someone
they
as
should.
an offensive like genius. Just have one of those teams set up.
So
Next
like the
year, if the
reverse
Chargers
of
try.
McVay.
Yeah.
Like how Wade Phillips was just
Yeah.
like, bro. And like,
Yes.
we're doing that. That would be fun too. But I don't know, where do you get the genius from to be a coordinator?
Just go take one of these like Mac school guys and be like, here, implement your concepts with all these good players and see what happens.
I do like
I
Salah.
agree.
I do like Salah. Your concern, I don't think Lynn needs to be fired in the month as much as it wouldn't bother me. I think he gets to survive the
Telling
month.
you, losers, the longer he's there, the more he burrows in. And then that means that if you haven't fired him today, that means you might not fire him 6 weeks
No,
from now.
because we've never fired anybody. We've let Mike Riley stay to the fucking bitter end. We let Mike McCoy get the pink slips after the last game. At least in my lifetime, we give those pink slips at the end of the day. Norvell as well. So I don't see that changing, especially the
Dennis Allen is on their list for
Hear me
sure.
out. Especially the respect.
For sure, he's on their list.
Especially the respect they have for Lynn. I just believe it goes to the end of the season.
Oh, who is that guy? Your guy, Tim. Oh, the fuck
How
was
about
his
they
name?
keep Lynn,
He-
fire Gus Bradley, and bring in Rex Ryan to coordinate the defense?
No, he coached the 49ers. What the hell was his name? He looked like a used
Oh,
car.
Jim Tomasulo.
Tom Sula,
Sula.
yeah. Chargers' new head coach. Who was the offensive line coach? The guy that coached the Raiders who like fought his players?
Soprano?
Oh, Tom Cable.
guy.
He's a Seahawks staffer.
You mentioned the Bills. I think Leslie Frazier is definitely a Chargers hire.
Yeah, round 2 of Leslie.
100%. Hackett in Green Bay. I could see that if you go offense.
The question is now,
Doug Marone,
you,
version
you want to know
3.0.
how deep it's gotten, Pat? Is I wouldn't even, months ago, they could fire Telesco now. Like, it wouldn't bother me. Because everything needs to be thought of as to how that motherfucker got in the building. And I love the roster Telesco has built. A healthy one, God willing. But the guy has been responsible for 2 coaches in McCoy and Lynn, so he could be gone now too.
Honestly, if I was the Chargers general manager, I would hire for my head coach
Jim
the
Harbaugh
best
to
special-
change
the
the
best-
culture for 3
the
years.
best special
Like
teams
that's like a
coordinator in
Schottenheimer,
football.
right? Like that,
That's actually very interesting.
David
A la,
Todd.
a la John Harbaugh. The Chargers special teams has been the worst special teams in football for years. I would hire the best special teams coordinator I could get my hands on, make that man my head coach and CEO, and farm out the coordinator positions for him to hire. That's how I would build the team, because that to me would show that I'm actually genuinely interested in renovating the culture.
Do you know the last
that's what I
time
would do.
when they hired Lynn, they actually interviewed David Taub, who is the chief special teams coach and who
Sure.
still is. So maybe
I
they'll
support
interview
that
him again.
approach. It can work. It's out of the box,
I don't know.
but I think they need
They
out
just
of the
got to
box.
fire Lynn, whatever they want, or
'Cause
I
that
get into
special
the
teams
DMs. I get into the
embarrasses it.
DMs and block for life. Although he's not on Twitter much.
What would you give me for an Anthony Lim prism right now?
He's not on Twitter much, Pat. He's not on Twitter much, but I went to go look at his profile.
Anthony Lynn?
No, the person whose DMs I can get into.
Okay.
And his second last tweet is a picture of me and him.
Oh, that's so nice.
When I said you promised to take care of me, so he could keep this promise or break this promise.
Jesus Christ.
That's so passive aggressive.
We have more games here, by the way.
Whose Twitter are you able to get into?
No, we don't need to use names, but I know who Jeff's talking about.
Just daddy's a pilot. Daddy's the pilot on this show.
Denver at Kansas City.
I got close with ownership at LaDainian's Hall of Fame, Paul.
The Chiefs are favored by 14. I think Drew Lock might play. They're not going to play Tim's guy, who he laid down the marker on that he would have the great game. 50.5 is the over-under. What was that guy's name? Kendall Hinton? Tim said he's got
Hinton.
it.
I'm also out of sorts.
I
now.
stand by the decision to say that, but it was a disaster.
Are you going to stop laying down markers?
I may have to. These have been very unsuccessful. I may have to. Although some are less, or some of them are.
What's a
right. But anyway.
realistic thing I can do to harm my body if we keep Lynn? Like, let's be realistic.
You shave your head. That's the move. Because maybe it's a reverse Samson situation with you in the hair in the Chargers. You get rid of the hair all of a sudden. Good luck, Chargers. Huh? Huh? You get that heartburn again? That's why you got the water?
Shave the head.
Shave the head. We'll shave it live on the show.
I'll do it. You better fucking fire that motherfucker. I can't stand his face anymore.
Are your eyes watering right now?
No, I'm thinking about something else.
Okay.
That's my sip you had there. So he
Well, I
says,
squished the bottle. It changed the trajectory of how it leaves.
Denver and Kansas City, and he takes here 14.
Kansas
I'm going to play the Chiefs.
City.
I'm going to play
A
Denver.
ton of points. It's a ton of points in division. I get it.
Nice rebound
Denver-
week for the Broncos.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Can I ask you a
that would make
question?
sense.
Are we still talking about the Chargers?
Well, who do you think would be a better job, the Jets or the Chargers? Because he
Chargers.
seems to think the Jets would
No.
get
I think,
first choice.
I mean, he's not wrong in saying the Jets are the most. The Jets are becoming a little bit like the Knicks, where the media points to them and be like, oh, this is such a high profile job. A lot like the Cubs all those years. Whereas, like, if you can do it here, it means so much more. The problem is you just don't want the heat of doing it. Coaching the Chargers is actually a really enviable job.
it's pretty low pro.
It's low,
and we have a long leash.
put it this
Unless
way.
you embarrass yourself every fucking week,
Yeah.
we'll let you chill the fuck out.
Yeah, if you do a really good job, the people who know will know you're doing a good job. Everyone else just won't notice. It's a lot like Sean
You can go-
McDermott. It's a lot like Sean McDermott in Buffalo. He's doing a great
You can
job.
Yeah.
The people who know about football say he's doing a
Yeah.
very good job. No one else notices. It's
You
like
can go 14-2. You can go 14-2 and then get fired immediately afterwards.
It's
'cause
true.
That's a real loyal franchise.
with the way that you're kind of hyping up how the Chargers and their outlook for the future is really good. It'd be like coaching the Tampa Bay Lightning in hockey. Great, good team, great spot to be in. No one cares how you do.
Yeah, I would say.
Versus being the head coach of the Canadiens.
No,
Yes.
Tim, I do think that they are more similar. I mean, the Jets are cachet.
I was just saying, if we have Lawrence coming in there, an offensive coordinator, I think would lick his chops at the opportunity. If you think he's as good as you think he is, to have him.
I'll take Denver plus 14. The coin
I
is
get
taking
it.
Kansas City. You guys are both taking Kansas City?
Yeah,
Hold
I'm taking
on.
the Chiefs.
Okay. You wanted to talk about Tampa.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Did the Chiefs, did they not try in the second half?
They can do that.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
They do that sometimes.
Is it because we saw this in the playoffs last year, and of course they won the Super Bowl, but like they would just come out flat and be just objectively bad for 10-minute stretches. You can't get away with that every single week. You can't.
They
no,
can.
I swear to
They're-
you, that Baltimore blowout just we just could try in spurts. We like put our pedal down and no one fucks with us. It's funny though
Like, haha, funny.
what's happening in Tampa in
I'm
the
a clown?
in
To
the
make you
sense that like how can anyone be surprised? They're asking Brady to just throw the ball deep.
Well, here's the thing with Tampa right now. It's actually not a bad situation for them to be in on two fronts. One, the expectations of what they're supposed to be doing have been significantly lowered. People are now kind of down on Tampa Bay. However, they have a super easy schedule to end the year. They win 3 of those 4 games, and they played the winner of the NFC East in the first round. Like, they're still very much live to figure this out and go to the Super Bowl.
Sure, but I think in many ways, how do you put this? Like instead of this Gronk and the Fournette and the Brown, they should have been adding to the defense.
The defense isn't bad, though. They look bad against Tyreek Hill, but
I
so do a lot of them.
But
understand
who
that,
doesn't?
but they should have just been adding to the defense. This is just
Their defense is significantly better than I ever thought they would be this year. I was completely like, that's been like the best part of their team has been their defense.
and I'm not even blaming Brady. They're not letting him be what.
He's not thinking and dunking.
But that's the point. Like they have this veteran quarterback with a really good defense. They should be playing safe, smart football. Instead, it's just up, chuck, up, chuck, up, chuck, up, chuck.
They were if this is the offense they wanted to play, they should have kept James.
That is sort of what I was just trying to say. And
But they're still deadly in the playoffs.
Yes, I do agree, because they get in the playoffs, they're definitely sleeping giant, and you've mentioned that the road could actually work out better than teams 3 seeds ahead of them. That's just how the cookie will crumble for
and they'll end up
somebody.
Their problem is they'll probably end up getting the Saints.
It's being so talked about.
Well, that's great.
It's being so talked about this week, but we spoke about it all summer, and that Arians at the first year with quarterbacks, career highs in interceptions. Manning, Palmer, Big Ben, Jameis, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Brady will probably be no different. And it's just, it is what it is. He's not being protected there like he should be. I guess
not
with the play calling.
Protected by the play calling, not by the offensive lines.
Yeah, Belichick puts you in positions to do what you did well. Right? Like, what do you do well?
Arians is putting you in his position.
In his positions. And
or
then,
is it him or is it Leftwich?
And then after the game, though, I don't know.
Chargers' new head coach, Byron Leftwich.
He's not on the list. Is he a thing?
I don't know. If Tampa does really well, maybe.
I'm not interested in their scheme. They barely use motion. I like what I see in Buffalo. I like what I see in Kansas City. I like what I see in Tennessee. I'm scheme envy, coach envy, play call envy. You're losing your coach, Paul. You can't scheme 3 receivers open 80% of the plays and not lose your job. Well, get promoted.
How dare you? You guys taking Kansas City?
I am.
Yeah, I am too.
Fuck, it feels like they really just sleepwalk it, though.
They can sleepwalk.
Yeah, but
they
they'll
can
still
sleepwalk
cover.
and win by 10. They could
I
win by
know.
21 in sleepwalk.
Sleepwalk,
27
Chiefs,
sleepwalk.
Chiefs,
I
Chiefs.
think Denver wants to come back out this week, and this is just me reading into stuff. But they were kind of embarrassed last week.
Well, they were put in a real unfair
They were
spot.
put in an unfair situation. It was embarrassing to the franchise that the league didn't protect them like they're protecting the Ravens.
Other teams got
that
protected.
other teams get protected. They get thrown to the. They're the sacrificial.
And
lamb.
they literally asked for one more day.
But one more day wouldn't have done anything for them.
They just wanted one more day to like prepare now. They begged apparently the league for one more day to let them play on Monday.
Can you do it?
I'm shocked the league did not. People like didn't wear masks. It's their own fault. It feels like teams have been. I'm not saying I don't know the ins and outs of other protocol and breaks and schedule maneuvering, but feels like they really gave Denver a middle finger. Imagine if Park Avenue did that to the Jets.
Oh my God, Tim
we would
Tim would be dead.
Like
It would be a Chernobyl-like meltdown on this show.
Last game that we have lines for, Buffalo and San Francisco, is Monday night. The game is in Arizona. The Bills are favored by 2.5 on the road. It looks like Mullins is still going to be playing. 48 is the over-under. Do you think the Niners are going to make the playoffs? Because after watching them last week, I know that Geoff can look bad, but this has been kind of a theme for them throughout the course of the season. Now and we talked about it on the show last week, that besides Bosa, everyone's kind of back on their defense. Their defense is
getting
really
back.
good.
No, there's another defensive lineman, right? He's still out, or is
But
that
just getting Sherman back in the secondary makes everyone, it bumps everyone else back a spot. Where now you can be the number 2 and you can be really good. Or maybe you're like a 1.5. You're not quite a 2, you're not quite a 1. When you get to play the number 2 at DB, all of a sudden your defense is a lot better. Like, and they're still generating pressure on the quarterback, even without Bosa. All season.
I have such faith. I have such faith in Buffalo in this game. Sort of revenge for what happened the last time they were in this stadium with the Hail Mary. I think they win this one comfortably.
That
I
is
like
an
Buffalo.
advantage for Buffalo.
Having played there?
Just they're back in the law. I know as weird as that is, they just same hotel. Nothing is new.
Mm-hmm.
I like Buffalo.
Yeah, but that's no different. It's not like San Francisco doesn't travel to Arizona. Every day.
I agree.
but this is their home game.
I
and this is
agree.
like
It's just
Buffalo
really.
lucks
I
it.
mean, I guess it's an advantage for Buffalo. The simple fact that Arizona.
It's less of a disadvantage for Buffalo.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a neutral site game on the road instead of a home game that's a neutral site.
A
So
neutral
Buffalo
site
does-
game on the road is an advantage, and then it's a
Yes.
neutral site that Buffalo was in like 2
Yep.
weeks ago. That's all.
I
Like that
expect the
Mexican
Bills to
restaurant
win.
they really enjoyed, they'll get to have it again.
Oh, did they get to go out?
I don't know. I think the teams do like order in feasts. Like
that would be
meal
smarter.
feasts.
Buffalo also.
Although they got some stank in that building too, a little bit, right?
Well, remember, you got the bad vibes. Remember when Tim said that Jake Fromm, or whatever the hell his name was, going to replace Josh Allen?
Yeah.
When we did the draft show. Remember that, Tim?
Yeah.
He's
Not
now
the first time I was
he's now
wrong.
the
Not the last time I was wrong.
The Bills have been using him as the quarantine QB.
Yeah,
So
that-
they don't have a Denver situation.
Yeah, that came out. I guess I was very proactive of Buffalo.
It's smart.
They've kept him away all year. That it makes total sense.
It's like when the president gives his State of the Union address, there's a designated survivor.
Yeah,
just in case a calamity takes place.
My
there's
wife
someone
liked that show with
Kiefer? Just all in on Kiefer?
It was filmed in a lot in here. We saw a lot of the cast sometimes.
I
in
saw
some
some-
of our
90% of
restaurants.
shows are filmed in Vancouver and Toronto. That's on American
Because we
television.
give cheap tax breaks. We give
Yes.
and Georgia
Yeah, the state of Georgia
Georgia
gives a lot of good tax
got
breaks.
tons.
But I walked past. I was just walking down the street the other day. They were filming some CW show that I had never heard of. Tried to get in it. I was like, yeah. Who are you taking here? So you're taking Buffalo. And Tim
Yeah.
loves Buffalo. Paul, how do you feel?
I'm taking Buffalo.
Bills by 1 million.
Bills by 1 million. I'm taking San Francisco.
You've been the Bills hater on this program this year, Pat.
I think I've been picking the Bills pretty well. I didn't pick them last week.
I
but-
had the Bills. I have the Bills to win the division, so I also didn't like. Part of me watching that game Sunday, I was like, I don't know, Dolphins are climbing.
I just
Bills
think the
need
Niners
that.
defense can get to Josh Allen.
I agree.
I don't know what San Francisco can do on offense, but maybe Buffalo reverts back to the defense that we've seen most of the year and not last week. And then you have Mostert back, you have Coleman back, and all of a sudden just I trust Kyle Shanahan's offense, even if he has like jabronis playing.
Yeah. Who did you say can get to Josh Allen?
I just said the defense can get to
The
him.
defense. Who last week did Tim call like washed and slow?
I got a text from a friend.
I
that-
don't think I used those words, but
I-
anyway.
I
in,
guarantee.
in his IDP league that Joey Bosa scored 76 fantasy points.
Hold on a second. Does anyone have any recollect? Like, you definitely used the word slow, and you might
I
have
may
used the
have.
word
Because he
washed.
looked slow against the Jets.
Okay, well,
except
he,
for when he was committing fouls that he was being fined for being dirty.
he had 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and a fumble recovery, and we lost the fucking game.
Okay.
What do we do about these other two games? Washington
What do
and
you wanna
Pittsburgh
do?
is Monday night, and Dallas Baltimore is Tuesday night.
Well, Washington, it's Pittsburgh at Washington, right?
It's Washington at Pittsburgh.
We can make
Yeah,
our Dallas
Pittsburgh
Baltimore
bye.
pick next Tuesday.
That's true. We
Pittsburgh,
could
And then you
we
just
can do
cut
that.
it and post it right away. I don't know it.
We can just cut that part out. Yeah,
I have no idea what
do
to
a quick
even say about that game.
I don't know who's playing quarterback. I don't know who's going to be active for
No.
Baltimore.
Washington, Pittsburgh. Do we have to make a spread?
Well, I don't know because it really depends on what happens in the Baltimore game. Like if Baltimore beats Pittsburgh, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility, just being so fucked up with how this game has gone, like it seems like a good spot to take the Ravens money.
No, that's not going to happen, or my Pilgrim parlay won't win.
well, sorry, Pilgrim.
Do you think what sort of rating do you think that game pulls tomorrow?
It's at like 3
Oh.
o'clock in the afternoon. What good? Really good.
Yeah, probably pretty good. I think
This Tuesday night game involving Dallas next week is going to get a higher rating.
Probably works out pretty well that we're in the middle of a pandemic and people are actually working from home.
I guess
Pittsburgh and Washington. I like Pittsburgh at any price. So
See,
if
I
it's
was going to say
Pittsburgh-
if Pittsburgh blows out the Ravens, Washington money line has to become pretty appealing. Washington's the perfect type of team to knock off Pittsburgh here. I think just they have a very good pass defense, they have a very good pass rush,
them
and they're not incompetent. And like their brand of offense doesn't really matter who they're playing. Like it's not a good offense, but it's a very like high percentage play offense
I see what you're saying.
that they're going to gain their 200 yards.
I do think
What's
that,
the number?
I do.
Well, we
think
don't know
that
what the number
something
is.
that we
Well,
would
we
be.
usually pick a number though.
But it depends on what's going to happen in this Wednesday game.
I do agree. Pittsburgh beating Baltimore in a blowout fashion could lead to an unfocused
It's not so much
effort.
that it could lead to an unfocused effort, but at the same time, if the Ravens win, this number gets all weirded out too, and then there's no way the Steelers lose.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm taking Pittsburgh and Baltimore in these two games, no matter what their lines are.
Pittsburgh's
That's
going
just
to
what I'm
lose
gonna do.
to Buffalo in primetime next week.
That's what I think will happen. Yes, next Sunday night, Buffalo will take down Pittsburgh.
And I think if Pittsburgh's undefeated, you can avoid the look ahead for Washington because you're undefeated.
and need it because the Chiefs have every tiebreak if they lose once. So
I happen to think that Washington's defense is geared very well to set up, especially with like the lack of running game that they have now. Like we don't know if Connor's going to be back or
defense
not.
amazing.
It's not amazing, but it does certain things really
the
well.
front seven's amazing. The front four might be the best in football.
And I think that you can get to Ben.
Yes, you can.
Teams
And as you said, their offense is it's got some striking ability that.
but it can also look like they're in a malaise part of the time too. And I think
Malaise forever.
they just care about this Baltimore. And the Baltimore game just, they're playing it a week after they were supposed to play it. And it's a pretty quick turnaround. They didn't even get the Tuesday game. They get the Monday game. And Washington will have like the super duper bye, having played on Thanksgiving and then not till Monday the next week. This has essentially been a bye week for them to get ready for Pittsburgh.
Dallas gets an even longer super duper bye.
That is correct. Well, yeah, they do. That's correct.
Did you see Jerry Jones in his interview? He was asked about the Hinton having to play in Denver and said it wasn't much different than them having to play their 7th round pick, Ben DiNucci. Like, what an embarrassing comment.
One guy is actually a quarterback.
One guy
And
you
the other
drafted to play fucking
And
quarterback.
the other guy is a practice squad receiver and kick returner who once played quarterback in college.
You had a whole week to prepare for the game rather than the evening before.
I feel bad for Denver. I really do. It's a shitty,
I do,
It's a shitty spot to be put in.
It is.
And the league hung
Fangio-
them out to dry.
And Fangio hung his players out to dry. He's gone at the end of this year. There's no doubt in my mind.
Really?
He's got to go.
What do you
Got
think,
to go.
Geoff?
Fangio?
Yeah,
No, he stays.
I think so too.
I can't see it. I cannot see it. After what he just said about his players, that locker room could be gone. Like, what? I'm sorry that our players put the league in this circumstance. That's what he said in public. He's got to go. He probably should go now, but he will go at the end of the year.
No, he won't.
Okay.
They don't even have an owner there. No.
Always got to throw him out.
No.
Elway should have started that game. You see, they were trying to start their like strength and conditioning coach at quarterback.
Oh, that's just such a joke. Like, the league is doing everything it can to keep its integrity for this season. And like, you pull a stunt like that, and you're like, my God.
Why were they so hard lined on Denver? Did they do that egregious of a protocol break that
No, I think it's because they know that Denver's not going to the playoffs, and it doesn't matter. It's an
Easy team to take a whack at.
yeah.
But then that
But it's
doesn't
not even-
affect the competitive balance of NFC teams?
Not really, because I mean the Saints were. I think it's a game that they looked at and be like, look, if we fuck with this game, no one's really going to care. It's going to go up against the highest rated game of the day that everyone else is going to be watching anyway. It's not like the Saints are going to make the playoffs. The Broncos aren't going to make the playoffs. We don't want to have to cancel a game. We've prided ourselves on not canceling a game. This is a game where we can kind of do some chicanery and have no one really notice.
Yeah, you can hang them high and there's no consequences.
And there hasn't been any, really. People are just happy that football's still going.
Yeah, not when that team's head coach comes out and grovels and apologizes to the league for it.
I mean, like, does Denver get any points for this game? Like, do they get to say, like, no, you don't get to send us to Europe for 15 years now? Like,
I'm sure there's some sort of backdoor deal that
like,
they get something.
next time. Like, you know, a funny backdoor thing people are joking about. You think the Patriots are going to make the playoffs? One of you?
He does.
I said it. I think they can win
If
out.
they don't, they become eligible for Hard Knocks for the first time ever.
Really?
Yeah, and Evan's like, for sure, they're for sure going to get it next year.
Yeah, but can't a team decline being on Hard Knocks?
No, with the new rules, there's new rules where, like, if you have a new head coach, you can't be on it. If you made the playoffs the year before, you can't be on it. Like, there's that it only allows for X of teams that are actually available, and then from that, the league can pick whoever they want.
Interesting.
There are teams that are protected based on circumstances, and then there are teams that say, no, you have zero protection, and that's who the league picks from now.
Super locks for the week. I'm taking Indianapolis -3 against Houston.
Arizona +3. Tim, don't take it.
Oh, I wasn't going to. I am gonna take. Kind of torn here. New England -1.
And that
Aren't
makes
they +1?
no, they're -1. They're favored by 1.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Oh no, sorry, sorry,
moved.
no, sorry. They're
Oh, sorry, it's +1. New England
Yeah,
+1.
because I was gonna
so.
be like, I definitely tease the Chargers to 8.
Yeah,
No, +1.
Yeah.
You will get that opportunity, believe me. That game is moving in New England's direction.
Chargers.
I'm saying it will be.
So 6-point teaser for you, Tim. Vegas, Vikings, Seattle, Green Bay, and New England.
That's what it is.
Tim, what's the biggest bet you've made on an NFL game?
In my life,
Yeah.
I lost $500 back in 2007 on the Packers-Giants NFC Championship game. I bet somebody
hated
that the
that
Giants,
game.
the Packers would win that game.
And then,
anyway,
that was, yeah.
Anyway,
That
I lost
should have
it.
been-
That
that should have
Lawrence
been-
Tynes in the
Yeah.
freezing cold hitting that field goal.
Do you know where
cost me
where I was that day?
Where?
I was in Foxborough
You were
in
in
the
New
Upper
England.
Bowl.
Watching.
Oh, that's right, 'cause the
watching
Bolts
LaDainian
played
Tomlinson
early
with his helmet
Watching
on the
LaDainian
sidelines.
in his Darth Vader fucking
Yeah.
outfit. It was
That
the
was a
only.
bad
It was
day
the
of
only
football.
playoff game Nate Kading made his field goals.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Love Nate.
I was gonna
Big
say,
fan
you
of
want to
New York.
bet $500 on Chargers Patriots?
I do not. I do not.
Neither do I. That's just,
Trying to get him.
yeah, I just wanted to see where that might go.
How many wins are the Lions? How's our Cardinals Lions bet? It feels like it's close.
Can't be.
I think it's
I'm,
6
I'm back 2. I think I'm back 2.
I think it's 6-4 because the Lions
Yeah.
beat the Cardinals, didn't they?
What was
Yeah,
up with,
I-
with Kyler being off the injury report, but literally playing like he didn't want to?
I'm going to lose because the Cardinals won on that Hail Mary. I feel like that's what's going to end up happening.
Oh, that would make the most sense.
Who would you start in fantasy, Watson or Herbert?
Herbert. Watson without Fuller has been like noticeably worse as a fantasy player. Not to say that
Yeah,
he's
I
bad, but
think
like
I
he
agree.
is amazing when Fuller plays. And it's a tougher matchup. Like it's a tough matchup. I mean, I am worried that New England just might do their classic New England thing and make a rookie quarterback look bad. Like they just made Kyler look really bad by playing like cover 0 and rushing 4 people.
But I feel like Kyler played so tentative. But I guess maybe you could argue the Patriots scheme made him
Like he wasn't
tentative.
running and I couldn't figure it out. But it's not like
It's a good reminder that Belichick is a genius. I don't like him. I think he's bad. Like, I think
you
he's
want to know
acted badly,
something?
but he's a genius.
I don't know if I want it because if I got him with the actual desire in his belly, I would take it. But there are rumors of I've seen Belichick to the Chargers
Really?
in the same way we saw those Brady rumors last year.
What about Josh McDaniels as a coach? Is he just
No,
done? Like no
no.
one wants him as a head coach anymore?
I don't want him.
I think he's the heir apparent now. He's the
He-
Dauphin in
He
New
schemes
England.
people open. He runs motion.
He does, but I don't want him.
That'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. I'd like to thank The Coin for being here, along with Tim and a Tug.
Tim and Cust.
Not my name. Oh, we done already?
Yeah, quick one today.
What a quick show. What a quick show.
Well, the first like hour and 30 minutes weren't very
I'm
good,
not.
but I feel like we
watch
really,
any of the clips.
we really picked up steam here
I
in the
don't
last
like
hour
where
thanks
this
to
one
Geoff.
went. I don't like. I'm not watching.
I thought
any of
that Tim would have the Alex Jones type show. We're just gonna give you a microphone and have you talk about the Chargers every week. You can
He
talk.
does.
like
It's
you're
called
in-
the Jeff Fienberg Show on Wednesdays and Fridays.
I don't.
He talks more about the Chargers on this show. I'm telling you that just next year we allocate a show for Geoff. It's as long as he wants it to be. After he watches the press conference, he can just unload and only talk Chargers and take Chargers questions from people. You listen. This is a good.
How can I
this-
get credentialed into that fucking Zoom
thi-
presser?
This is how you do it.
Because there's some guy There's some guy. I don't want to insult anybody, but he should not be in there. He should not be in there.
What's his name so we can write this?
I
down?
don't even know, but he
Cam
just
Cameron. This is what he does
no,
now.
he just sounds. I don't know whether someone's doing someone a favor. I don't know how he gets the Zoom code.
If we get you,
I don't know what outlet
Do
he's
you want
in.
me? Do you want me to find out the Zoom code? Because I can probably find out the Zoom code.
No, because I don't want any. I don't know.
Go in there, yell at Anthony Lynn. I will set myself on fire
No,
if you
no,
are
no, no.
fired.
What
You
I would,
think building houses is going to save your job?
what I would literally say is, you know how you stress how disappointed you are in special teams, and then he might say, "Yeah." Say, "Well, that's how I feel about you."
Jesus, man.
That's literally.
Well,
if I
that's all
could-
the time we have for questions today. And
If I could say one thing to Anthony Lynn, it'd be like, do you remember a couple weeks ago you spoke about how disappointed and upset you are at special teams? That feeling is how I feel about you. Let's get out of my life.
So
I thought he was a leader of men.
So did I. Mike McCoy tricked me too, Paul.
it feels like you might have a soft spot for these guys.
They take me to the playoffs early, and I think I'm onto something. Epic miscalculations. That's why Telesco's head could be on the block despite the draft resume.
Make him just draft guy. And leave all other personnel decisions to you.
No, I don't.
Tim.
That's not what I'm asking for. I'm also not asking to be involved.
Oh, what I was going to say about the Chargers show, I actually think it's quite a good lane for you. So we live in like a micro content society. So my switch from just doing football and baseball was one thing. The show did really well when we switched to golf because no one was really doing golf. Then you see someone like Rick, who's really doubled down on golf, is doing like 5 golf videos a week. And then like he's growing at a very high rate. So we're doing football now. And like just doing betting for the past 5-6 years has been a really good niche for us because we were the only people really, not the only people doing it, but before it became the thing that everyone is doing. Now it's like, do we just do team style stuff? And you can just talk about the Chargers half an hour every week, the Geoff Fienberg Chargers show. Would you not like to talk about the Chargers?
I could do it, and it would feel like 30 seconds.
I know.
And I'd get.
I think that if you put people into a position, especially on video or for content now, where they're passionate about the subject that they're talking about, I think that's a home run. It's like last week I mentioned that we should do like a Monday recap show or a Sunday evening recap show. People thought we were starting that this week. I was just kind of throwing it out there. Like, it takes a lot of time. You'd be shocked at how.
But that shows the interest that people have in a show like that. Like, oh man, is that starting this week?
I think it would be really good, but I can't speak to the state that Geoff is in after like the Chargers like lose a close game. I don't know if he's going to show up.
So you just have to keep a deep and delicious cake on hand in your fridge in case.
So I'm thinking that maybe we reserve that for like we need to find a Geoff replacement for Sunday nights.
If I was responsible, I'm not like if I committed myself to doing it, I could do it. But it would be the most unhinged thing ever.
That's what people are looking for, just like this Chargers
But
show.
sometimes Sunday you like regrets, like a coach is like, I don't want to say this right now.
That's perfect. That's a show. That's a perfect thing.
But then on Monday,
you just ranted for 30 minutes. We didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
But then on Monday, I'm not going to feel that way. And
Good.
Then we do,
and then we do, and then we don't have to do the show on a Tuesday. We can do it on a Wednesday night. So we get 2 shows in the week.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm for it, but I'm just I'm not well. I'm not well.
Paul,
Can we have a segment on said show where we just read Rovell tweets to Geoff?
can we get Geoff a Rovell shirt for Christmas?
I would never wear that. Like I would never wear. Like who would wear that? His Jufro is like grade 6 picture.
Did you have that haircut in grade 6?
What a fucking pompous piece of shit. To think someone wants to wear that on their chest.
Geoff, I wasn't going to tell you, but I sold off the sponsorship to the Chargers show already, but it was to the Action Network.
Let's go.
But I don't know if you have to praise Rovell is the one thing. That's their one.
Do you want to know something? Do you want to know something now that like you said something? I'll say something. This could just be an Easter egg at the end. You don't got to clip it.
Okay.
But I swear in some of this time, like at the end where I was just sort of talking to people, deciding that I should like branch out, do more. And I think they just glad-handed me and like they just tried. I had a conversation with them, but I think they were just trying to like make me like them to stop bashing Rovell. Because they said some things in that conversation that they never followed up on. And I think they were just trying, the person I was speaking to was just trying to try to pour a small bottle of water on my fire. Might have worked for a couple weeks, but as you can see, it didn't do anything.
I think they would have been lucky to have you. I think that's why they were talking to you. Look at all the people offering you shows. Myself included.
Part of me was actually thinking, if I did sign there, how could I do something with, like, I want, like, you have to make him unfollow me and you have to make him in my world. But I'm a nobody. Doofus has 2 million followers.
Do you think that the idea of bringing you on is give you and him a show where you just yell at him the entire time, which would be must-watch content?
That'd be good.
His entire thing is people yelling at him and making fun of him.
What if they became friends in real life?
I could see you being
We
friends
could.
with,
Like
yeah, you guys could date.
stepbrothers.
I bet
We
you guys
could.
have similar backgrounds.
We could, yeah. Our moms are probably similar. Like there are things that could link us.
Is that what you see? You see that you could be Rovell?
No,
you see
no.
yourself in him?
No, I'm not a phony.
Yeah, but you see that if you were a phony, that's how you could be.
Possibly.
Like that time that you had to wear the suit and tie on the show after you got banned and we had to pull the clip from the show. After you talked about people bringing their kids to the game and you offended the boss's secretary.
Hey, a sitter!
They're idiots.
I can't believe we had to take down our most viral
Well,
clip
it's
ever.
viral.
It was the only thing
It's
we
viral.
ever did that got picked up by places.
Yeah.
And we had to take it down.
It wasn't even
It was not
in
bad.
poor taste.
It wasn't in poor taste. Yeah, it wasn't good taste, but
It's nothing like the
it was
things
funny.
you've bleeped out I say about Melvin Gordon.
That's true.
No.
Which I don't think is as nearly as bad as you guys perceive, but we don't have to go
Yeah,
there.
they're not good.
Okay, since we're doing the Easter egg portion of the show, 2 minutes and 40 minutes in, it's better for the show if I bleep it, because if I think it's borderline, if I bleep it, it makes it seem like it's way worse.
Yeah, but then people think like I said that.
No.
I hope not, but I don't like because so much goes. So like you bleep that. That's all I was worried about.
No,
when
I don't
see
think
the bleep.
anyone thinks that.
Okay, good.
That's not what's happening, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not like when we had to bleep out Tim last week. I think I might just do that to Tim now. From now on, just periodically bleep something he says, and people think he's just saying the craziest stuff. It'll give Tim a new edge he never had. Rub and tug, Tim.
Ugh, please.
Tug, tugga. Well, I'm glad you say we were having a bad show. You saved the show, Geoff.
No, I really am. I don't.
Thanks, Geoff. I appreciate it.
You know what you get?
I don't like.
You get a soccer clap.
I could see how what I was trying to say was misconstrued as insane. But I meant it more in like an outlook fashion of success.
It just with the way that you were saying it, it just made you sound
Yeah,
like
like,
how
oh, yeah,
Tim
we're
talks
better
about
than the team that comes in second, but we're better than them.
Yes.
We play the runner-up in the Super Bowl. The next week, we beat them. That's not what I meant. None of those teams we could beat. Not even the 7 seeds. Today is. I just meant is a great. I've never been so happy to be 3-7. I literally lied in bed last week, like smiling before the Sunday game, like just thinking, like I don't know, 2020 has been good to me. I was like thinking about all these things.
The world has suffered in 2020. 2020 for Geoff going very well.
Listen, so I don't know. There's some gains that were made, and then one of them, like completely unrelated, was like I don't know how I was blessed to just get a quarterback again. So I feel blessed.
And it was revealed that if Anthony Lynn is not fired, you're shaving your head off.
I do agree, but maybe we could think of something. I'm willing to harm myself. Like I want to make national news.
We'll make that happen for you, Geoff. We'll fulfill all of your wishes of self-harm.
I don't know.
You
Right?
know how that sounds bad, right?
I know.
You know, in all seriousness, if somebody is in that circumstance, please seek help.
Yes.
Please seek help. There are emergency lines that you can call. You know, we're having fun here, but in all seriousness, that it isn't funny. If there is somebody,
So
if you're
then
in
let's
trouble
just end
or
it.
you're-
I feel awkward. Just
Geoff-
keep that out.
Jeff already said earlier that he probably wouldn't like hurt
Murder
him.
Anthony
Murder
Lynn.
Anthony Lynn. Probably not. Probably.
He's not committed either way.
I've never owned. Never.
It's probably not going to happen.
Well, this show really went off the rails. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate it. Tune in next week as we make more terrible picks and Geoff gets crazier and crazier by the day. 2020
And I might have spent so much money on those boxes of prisms that we could do something with. by
Feels
the
like
time
we
we
talked
I'm
about
no longer the
record
insane
again.
person.
See,
That's
you,
what
you
the
say that, but
2020
you're
been the resolution.
yeah. But every time that you say you're not the insane person, you come out with something crazy.
No, shit. This was bad. I gave too much ammo.
You're in pole position now, bud.
The problem is the always the ultimate differentiator, in my opinion, is I like acknowledge I'm off. He thinks he's normal, therefore I
am
must
normal.
be so much more like ahead in acceptance. If I at least acknowledge I messed up, well, he pretends like he thinks he's normal.
I am normal.
Well, I want nothing to do with normal.
I'm a man of and for the people.
I will not watch a single clip, anything. This show will not exist. I'll
Oh no,
retweet
you
it a few
want to watch the
times.
one that I clipped from 1410 where Tim goes on about the Jets and Adam Gase, about Adam Gase is personally trolling him. That'll be a good one.
I think
Sure.
he is.
Let's hope we have a good picks week. We're due for a good one, Tim.
You're killing it.
I've actually had like a really good few weeks in a row. But Tim, you know what? I know that I usually joke about this. I am rooting for you to win your Pilgrim Parlay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a fun narrative and storyline we can have for next Thanksgiving if the world is
Exactly.
still here. Next
It's as
Thanksgiving.
sturdy as the Plymouth Rock upon which the Pilgrim stood. The Pilgrim Parlay.
Did you know? I was reading this on the internet. The Pilgrims aren't even real. They're fake news.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're made up hoax. This
Well, Pilgrim, that's not the way I heard it.
Yeah,
they
well-
named an airport after me.
Yeah, well-
so I
well-
know something.
Tim, who's telling you this? The mainstream history media?
Yep.
Anyway, we've had some fun. We had some laughs, had some tears, as with Geoff.
The
Had some,
show's on video. It's gonna live forever. I'm an idiot.
had some heartburn. Had to wash it down and then missed our mouths with the bottle.
And
Anyway.
squish that bottle in rage.
Anyway, if you like this show, smash the like button or leave an audio review maybe, okay? I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!